to another episode of Critique. We're back again.
Yeah, regular schedule. How is it
Regular
possible?
schedule, actually managing to come out without too many technical difficulties.
Yeah, I caught them before we started. Like, never open OBS on safe mode. Always pick the dangerous mode.
Yeah, dangerous. We have to be dangerous. Super deadly and dangerous, as we like to be on the show.
Lots of news. Not Nintendo. Nintendo. Well, Nintendo announced Xenoblade Chronicles X definitive version, Switch 2 version. So I have to buy.
Fancy.
Well, for me, it's just a €5 upgrade from the Switch 1 to Switch 2 version. With 4K and 60 FPS and all that good stuff.
4K. It's gonna be 4K.
I don't see any lagging, Samu. I don't see any,
oh no.
Google says Google claims stream is good. So
stream seems fine on my end too. I'm not noticing any spinny spins when I've got the stream up on my second monitor. So oh no, Sammy's got problems. Maybe I don't know. Oh now.
Anyway, but Nerdsy, did you see the thing about that the two leaders of Xbox are fired, or at least gone?
Well, I saw what's his name, Spencer or whatever.
And Sarah Boone.
He whatever. Some Indian lady's taken over. I don't really care.
Well, it kind of, in the grander gaming scheme, it kind of matters because that Indian lady is the head of AI.
Yeah, she's some AI. I did see that she like posted some.
Yeah, she posted some weird from I am for the gamers, and I'm not going. I am not going to do.
She posted an AI generated. Wait a minute, Sarah Bond, the president of Xbox, 4 hours ago has resigned. Sarah Bond is a different lady, I guess.
Yeah.
they're all jumping like shit. The rats
Sarah
are leaving the sinking ship, Ellie. This is what that's telling
Matt Booty and Sarah Boone, or was it Phil Spencer?
Sarah Bond and Richard, whatever it's not Richard Spencer, but I can't
Phil Spencer, right?
The other guy. Phil Spencer, yeah, I knew it was a Spencer or something. They both are now, I guess, gone. And I again, to me, it feels like rats leaving the sinking ship. I think it's kind of telling you a little bit about the state of
it doesn't look
Xbox
good.
at the moment.
But the new lady says a lot of had the intro speech like, I am not going to have AI slop and games are made by humans, and but this is the company that's head of Microsoft says, please people don't use AI slop.
Please.
The AI is good.
Well, that's a different. That's a different.
Yeah,
this
but
is
that's
the thing with like these giant. This is the thing with these giant corporation company type things, right? Is that guy is the head of the Windows?
No, that's the head of Xbox in general, and the head of Xbox.
No, he's not. No. The guy that does that, the other Indian guy. They're all Indian. No, I'm not going to be racist. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Okay, but the guy that was talking about please don't AI slop isn't part of the Xbox division. He's part of the Windows division. No,
post your facts, citations. I
was going to say, if I'm wrong, post citations now. Also, hi Fiverr, how you doing? So the guy that did the AI slop stuff, and they've actually been walking back a lot on that now. There's been a lot of especially on the Windows side, because I think they kind of realized there's been a lot of backlash and a lot of
Oh yeah, because I saw
stuff.
I'm happy now, because I opened Notepad for once, right? Because I told Naretsu just before stream, I've been getting into making websites because I paid for a course, never finished the course because I hate the book, but for a bunch of reasons. But the book is still like a book that I have, so I can still use it to learn how to make website. And how do you make website? Well, you open Notepad. And what do I see when you open Notepad? The most basic thing ever invented on on the Windows.
Would you like to use Copilot to?
Yeah, why? This is Notepad. This is the.
There was a thing about that where there was like also like vulnerabilities and all other kind of stuff. That kind of cropped up around that. So it is, yeah, it is interesting. But in terms of the Xbox stuff though, all I really know about this lady is that yeah, she's like was head of AI or some nonsense, and I don't necessarily think that she really does actually give a shit about the gamers. It seems more like it's probably corporate. Oh, you just say that you're for the gamers, marketing stuff. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it. That kind of thing. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it. I don't really like care a whole lot because
I care in the sense that I like to follow gamer news and be up to date, kind of. So and it is funny, this news, in the sense that Sony closed, Bluepoint, big important fancy studio, and then Sony went, "All right, it's closed now. Goodbye, disappear." Panel snapped and all those other memes. And then the next day, Xbox comes out and was all those people you kind of liked but hated for 550 reasons or liked for 10 reasons, they're gone. And is replaced by AI lady who has a very questionable background and might ruin what Xbox even further. So it really was like a case. Hey, look, Sony is doing a bad thing. Hey, here's Microsoft nuking itself again.
Well, yeah, here's the thing. We'll see how it goes, because in terms of like the hardware side of it, I know that both of them are ramping. Well, I think the PlayStation 6 is delayed. It is happening, but it's delayed. Well, because of the whole AI chip shortage shit. Like everything's like the Steam Deck's getting delayed as well. The Steam Machine is getting delayed too. Everything's basically getting delayed right now because they can't literally afford to fucking sell you the product, right? So from what I know, essentially, that's kind of the gist of the situation. It's one of, I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, I'm not like a fucking Sony pony or an X-Bro, so I don't have major investment.
You can carry, by game time, I'm a PC master race, but besides that,
because here's the thing: like, companies are not your friends, right? People got to remember that. Like, just because the company does the thing, you shouldn't get tricked by marketing or whatever to think that Microsoft is like your bro or something, right? It's not a good mindset to kind of be in. So I would, I would say, sucks to suck, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
I guess something we can. Well, like, besides that, I don't know if you saw all the UFO table stuff.
I saw that. That visual novel I have on my Steam wishlist forever now gets an anime, so I don't have to buy the visual novel. Yay!
I guess, yeah. So they announced. I'll have to go grab
Witch of the Silent Night.
Yeah. Witch of the Silent Night was one of them. I'm trying to find like one of my my tweet thing because this is like I thought there was some like anime thing that I follow that was talking about it. But that was one of the main announcements. There's going to be another Tales of Anime, I believe. They're working on another Tales of Anime. They're working on a Genshin Impact anime as well. That's another thing that they're doing. They're working on one of those. And yeah, overall, some pretty good, pretty good, pretty fun announcements. But you know, the best announcement though, that has nothing to do with Ufotable, but fucking Dark Summoner Dating the Dark Summoner, as the English title is, right? Is getting a short anime. So everything I read, Ellie, everything I read gets an anime.
Me too, but I just read one manga and then the next day it gets
the shonen tards, right? The shonen tards. I guess so. Oh no, my based magical fantasy anime with the tree. You remember that guy from like a week or two ago? Oh, my anime is never getting an anime. All these isekai get anime instead, and then I'm over here like, delicious, delicious short anime for my ecchi series. Great, lovely, can't wait. So good.
No, I got so my psychological trauma horror stock market trading show. I also still
we all get what we want.
Yeah, I still have like I forget because you know other shows that I heard of are getting stuff and Retsu, I saw that Do You Like Big Girls manga gets a anime also.
I saw that as well. Yeah, that looks.
I read that years ago, like the first chapters of it.
Yeah, it's like I said. We get everything we want, right? We get all the good stuff. It's great. It's
good. If you don't, you just read a good manga. So what's the harm?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, people get, you know.
And maybe I should read more visual novels because, you know, reading is good regardless.
Indeed. So yeah, I guess we could talk about why reading? Main characters reading who reads?
What? Reading comprehension.
Who reads in the year of our Lord 2020 6? No one reads, Ellie.
I've
what
been
are you
reading
talking about? So
many emails, this is a video. So many my office job. My office job has so much reading, so many reports. Just before we start stream, I had my first official complaints that I sent to the supplier once. Dear supplier, we have delivered this, but it is damaged. Please make sure this never ever happens again. Regard and you know, company name. By the name of my company, I sent you the report. I am very. It's fun to speak with the voice of a company for giving me power. Power I have.
Yeah. So anyhow, why is it always the main character's fault?
So I picked this video out, and to warn everybody, I picked it solely of like the title and the thumbnail because I didn't have any faith. Because the title, the thumbnail was.
Well, if it's boring as shit, we know how to who to blame. If it's
was it like Yagami? No, that's the guy, right?
Yeah,
Anna.
It's the chick from
Anna, right? I think her name was Anna.
Losing Heroines or whatever. Yeah.
Anna losing heroines. She's always blaming the protagonist, and then I was like, all right, to maybe preempt the whole video, I suppose. Of course, the main character gets pushed back because that is growth, and that's the.
It's almost like the main character is the focal point of the fucking show, and
if you maybe even count how many times the side characters gets rebuked, Did you actually count those as well? Well, but anyway, we shouldn't.
But anyway, let's
pre-cork the video.
Pre-con the video. Right, here we go. Let's.
Hey.
There we go. There's your crack. I'm having my boomer juice today. We're doing Monster Zero. Doing the boomer juice. So anyway, let's see what. Well, here's the thing. I'm completely blind, right? I don't really have any idea what we're talking, what's gonna happen. So let's see if it's a good video. Let's just see. Let's
so
go.
Recently, I was watching Me a Cool Little Romance. I don't even remember what show it was, cause like when I say recently, I mean like a month ago. But still, I was watching A Cool Little Romance in the recent year. What I'm trying to say though.
What is he saying?
He's watching
a
Culo romance.
A Culo romance.
I think a comedic rom.
A comedic rom-com. A Culo. Okay, I mean, I want to be mean, right?
Mm-hmm.
But man, you got no mumbling, please. Can we not? Can we not mumble?
I think he's just not familiar with the terminology of rom-com.
I mean, that could be part of it. Yeah, that could be.
I am not going to be super mean. Like, if it's like the first time you actually speak the words out.
I'm not being mean from the point of view that he's using weird terminology words. I'm being mean from the point of that he's fucking mumbling and I can't understand him. Right? Which is a bit of a different problem. But like, let's see what he says. I can kind of get let's see what he says.
Is that I don't know how I just like now caught onto this, but like I started peeping.
Oh, look at that! So we're doing Dan. I don't know what.
Oh, is he going to talk about Shoshimin? Damn.
All right. Well, let's get into it.
And I'm noticing like 90% of the time, every time something happens, it's always the MC that is in the wrong. And like they're always the ones who have to like find a solution to something. I mean, obviously, if they're in the wrong, they gotta find a solution. But you understand? Like it's never the other way around. Like rarely ever is. And it's not like these side characters in every shows are saints who can do no wrong, but I swear it's only the main characters who like get held accountable for all their mistakes. I mean, there's even
okay. Okay.
If I were all right, I'm just not so. Shoshimin is like a character dance, story, and everybody does a lot of things that is wrong from from a lot of angles, right? I was talking about the arc where the main girl and main guy kind of split up for like the whole second season, and they both get their own girlfriend boyfriend, and at one point, do you remember that the main boy gets a girlfriend, and he just completely goes through the motions without any care or consideration of feelings. So he doesn't even care that he gets massively cheated on, because that's not. He doesn't get angry, upset, disappointed. It's just nothing for him.
Yeah, so just emptiness. Pure
void of emotion. So at one point, he gets called out on it. Like, you don't even get angry. That's because you don't even care. You're not even upset or anything. And she, yells and is angry at the guy for not caring at all. That's not to me say that the girl is being, the cheating girl is not put into the right.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't justify the cheating, right?
No,
it doesn't justify the actions of the other characters.
But that's not the point right now. The point is that
but that's not the point. Yeah, that's why I'm finding this really weird, because typically the main character is, again, the focal point of the story. Everything's going to kind of evolve around that particular character, and if they do a fuck up, then that's obviously going to get more highlighted than if a side character does a fuck up, right? So let's keep going. Let's see. We're only we're not even a minute in left, so let's let
Sure,
them.
Times when side characters will do something, and then the main character is the one who gotta like make up for their mistakes. And I know some people are like, "Hey, bro, they're the main character. Of course, like everything is gonna be."
Well, it's like me.
Which that's not totally incorrect. Like that's not wrong. But like I'm more of asking why. Why is that? Like, yes, the main character. Of course, they're gonna have to fix a whole bunch of stuff. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not like dissing that, right? But I'm like asking why is that? Why is it never the other way around? I feel like there's never. Well, okay,
because
I'm not gonna say
the story revolves around them, and we see their perspective. And for we could have like the same story even, just from another perspective, and then it turns out that this, not from the other perspective, now this new main character is going through, is fixing from their perspective everything themselves, and the other main character is just doing something on the side that doesn't matter. Now it's the new main character that has to fix everything.
I have a feeling what we're experiencing here is this man had like a shower thought, and he thought, "Oh wow, this is deep. I'm gonna make a video about it," not kind of realizing that it really makes him sound kind of stupid, a little bit. Again, I'm trying not to be mean, right? I want to be good faith, right? I want to be good faith Naritsu this week, right? Good faith Naritsu. But like the issue I've got is this isn't really that complicated or that deep, right? It really does just come down to, yeah, the focus is on the main character. Of course, the main character is going to be the driving factor of the story, and therefore a lot of things are going to happen that they have to react to, right? And asking like why that is, it's like asking if why an apple is red, right? Like the apple is red because your eyes like register those particular color wavelengths as red, and we call it red because that's just the colloquial name that we gave to that
and the amino acids and the exposure
the amino acids or whatever, and that's kind of like, yeah, you can answer that question, but like, why? Well, I'm going to answer the question with a question. Like, why do we need to answer that question? Right? It's a very weird thing to like. Why is the main character a main character, Ellie? Right? Like, what like, what? How do you answer that? Right? So it makes it sound way more deep than it actually is, right? And I feel like that's why I described it as like a shower thought, right? He was in the shower. He's having his shower, and he's like, "Oh man, that's so deep. Fuck, I could make a video out of that." And then he's gone and sat in front of his camera, and he's just mumbling out this what he probably thinks is some like profound philosophical, like, man, why do main character?
Yeah.
Well, we still got a lot of video left, so I'm like curious as to see where he goes with this.
There definitely sometimes, but it's very, very rare. But I'm pretty sure I can count on my hands how many times I've seen another character apologize to the MC for something they did. Like, yeah, I know I was saying side characters rarely get.
Well, okay, well, hang on. Now I'm just confused as to what he's talking about, right? Because is he talking about like, okay, the character did a fuck up and they have to apologize for it, or is he talking about? Okay, I want him to like give us some examples here. I need some clarity, right?
Yeah, because I'm just in Dan, Momo and Okarun are apologizing to each other like every
constantly,
2 episodes.
Yeah, they're doing all kinds of shit. Yeah.
In Shoshimin, the characters don't necessarily apologize to each other overtly. Well, they kind of do in another way, just like, sorry to have bothered you. That's kind of the apologies they give to each other. But this show itself is more about, hey, our personalities are kind of twisted and we need to deal and accept and manage them. So they're not really apologizing them. They're kind of, more like self-actualization, realization kind of deal. And I kind of forget the other shows. I know There's No Way I'll Be a Lover, the Yuri show that I liked. Like that's like a constant constant back and forth between boundaries and respect and apologies and drama and distancing and closing in, etc. And I forgot the other shows, right? So I feel like there's a bunch of emotional back and forths, whether explicit apologizing or not.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty much. All right, let's see where he goes, because I'm interested to see if he gives some examples, because that's what I kind of need right now to kind of get back on
Held
track.
accountable, but there's times when they'll have like their own character development on their own, but it's super rare that they ever like wrong an MC, which they do a lot. But there's rarely a time where they wrong an MC and they'll go apologize to him for it. Now, right here, I actually have one of the rare examples of a side character.
He's doing exactly what I want.
Is he going not so? All right, I agree that Momo isn't necessarily a side character. She's like more of a co-main character, right? Because she has a lot of her perspective as well. But which characters explicitly apologizing to Okarun?
Well, let's go back a little bit and get the example from the start, and let's see what he says.
But there's rarely a time where they wrong an MC and they'll go apologize to him for it. Now, right here, I actually have one of the rare examples of a side character apologizing to the MC, and it's in the good show Dandadan. And honestly, like, a good part of why Dandadan is such a good show, aside from like, you know, the obvious cool ass fighting scenes and just the weird shit that be going on. But another good thing about the show is that they have every actual character actually doing shit. Like, the author did well to make these characters sentient. I'm talking about a whole bunch of other shit. Let me get onto the example though. So at some point within the first season, we get one of those like cliche ass misunderstanding arcs between my boy Takamura and ISA. Yes, I still call him Takamura. I don't give a fuck. But yeah.
Look, I'll give the man credit. That's a good attitude to have, my man. Based.
Nah, Takakura Ken. He's a Ken in our household.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Oh man, it's so good. So good. But anyhow, let's continue.
Yeah, misunderstanding. ISA seen Takamura getting close with another girl. Thought he was cheating, even though at this point they weren't even dating, but whatever. After seeing that, ISA started avoiding MC. Pretty normal so far. The specifics on the little drama isn't really too important. It's the resolution we're trying to look at here. Instead of the resolution just being Takamura going up to ISA and apologizing for doing nothing wrong, the two of them actually ended up coming to a mutual apologization. That is definitely not a word, but you understand what I'm trying to say. Maybe this isn't the best example because both of them ended up apologizing in this situation, but you know, that's how it be sometimes. Takamura was like, my bad for making it seem some type of way, and ISA was like, my bad for seeing it some type of way, and then it was all good.
There was also the scene when they were, you know, swimming in the liquid hallway, right? Where ISA was kind of semi-forced by Okarun to say what is bothering you, don't hide what is bothering you, etc., etc. So she was in the wrong for hiding, for saying that nothing is wrong. I am very angry at you for being nothing is wrong. And it was ISA's fault. And I suppose though ISA didn't, you know, explicitly apologize or anything, she got over it, and then they defeated the monster, and then afterwards they have had this scene thing.
Yeah.
Because after Momo realized that she should actually say what is bothering her, then in this scene, in this nurse's office scene, she asked what is the thing that happened there, and she listened, and it was not a big deal, etc., etc.
Yeah, and so yeah, it's like I said, it's one of those things where my problem, I guess, with the video is, I mean, doesn't that happen a lot? You know?
Yeah, but also Okurun didn't
not
really
like it.
apologize in that scene. It was more of a
this is the misunderstanding.
yeah. This
You
I
know,
was so Momo went from all right. I'm bothered by this. What happened? And Okurun said, "Well, I was training. I get and I wanted to keep
yeah,
it a secret." And then she went from
and then it
that's
kind of goes, and then it kind of switches into that's so sweet. He's doing
yeah.
that for me,
So
right?
there was
And then it
in essence
kind
there
of
was
thing.
no apology here. There was
Mm,
no I did something wrong on both. Well, most of all, if you want to assign a blame, it was Momo who was hung up on a thing and was forced to
yeah,
get over it. Okurun never apologized
yeah.
for um being in the situation. At most, the apology was like, "But I wanted to keep a secret because I thought it was cool." But that wasn't an apology. That
Mm,
was just a admission.
explanation, yeah. But again, I don't really. Yeah, yeah. I don't really have any particular like big thing to say really about it.
Mm.
It's kind of like, yeah, I guess. I guess that could be something that's like rare, maybe. I don't know. I don't really watch enough rom coms to really
Well, I mean,
really know.
in the example of "There's No Way I Will Be a Lover," blonde girl who is, I described as presumptuous and entitled to,
Mm,
she's super presumptuous and entitled to the relationship that she thinks she ought to have with the main character, to the point where she just says, remember that I said, so, "Oh yeah, other girl, confess your love to her. See who
mm,
she'll pick me anyway." And then she doesn't. And then she accepts the romantic confession of the other girl and not hers. And then she goes into depression and
mm,
whatnot, and has to accept that
mm,
she was pushing her and blah 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 blah. And that's way more
mm.
of a confrontational thing, apology, blah 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 thing than I think before.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Well, let's keep going.
And here's to say, like my whole thing, it doesn't have to be like a complete one-sided thing. I just want to see other characters aside from MC taking like responsibility for the things that they might do. Or I'm not going to even say other characters and other shows don't take responsibility for their shit. I'm going to say they might have like some character change, right? But they'll never admit that to the MC. I feel like the cliche in a romance, I can't really pull up a correct example right now straight out my mind, but I feel like
Maybe
the
you should write
character
those
will
down.
just like distance themselves from the MC.
Yeah, that's what I mean by this feels like a shower rant or a shower idea. Like he's basically had this thought and he hasn't like compartmentalized it, right? He hasn't like compressed it into an actual cohesive argument that he can make. He's just had the idea, sat in front of his camera, and just started going. And to be fair, that kind of style does sometimes work, right? I mean, it's the style we're doing right now, right?
Mhm.
Where we're doing stuff on the fly, right? We're coming up with ideas on the fly and having to kind of like compartmentalize things. And sometimes I'll take a pause and I'll think about stuff and how I'm going to say stuff, right? And figuring out kind of the best way to explain what the idea that I'm trying to sort of convey. Um, so I think that's the problem right now is he's got this kind of vibe, I guess, of
Yeah.
what he wants to convey, but he's having trouble kind of expressing that.
Yeah,
Which
because
is yeah.
nobody is a stranger to having to pause and think from, is this what I really have here, or is this just,
Yeah.
am I looking at something exceptional, an exception, an outlier, or is this normal in compared to other things? Because Nertsu,
Yeah.
during a lunch break, I was accused of eating the same thing every day.
Oh no.
And
Oh
I saw him
no.
looking at my daily bread that I eat every day with my apple that I eat every day. And then I saw him, "Hey, why do you..." And then he stopped. Because Nuretsu,
Hmm.
in front of him, in his little laundry box, he had the thing that was he had the meal that he was eating the same day for the week now.
He would have been a big hypocrite.
Yes.
Hypocrite. You would have been a big
Because
hypocrite.
it is not actually exceptional or be even really noteworthy for somebody to eat the same thing every single day, because it's almost like the easy thing to do.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, it is one of those things where let's see where he goes. But I think that this is going to be kind of another like 10 minutes of rambles. But we'll see. Maybe maybe he figures it out on the fly. Let's see what happens.
Right, and then they'll realize they're wrong. Then they'll have their own like character development arc, and then they'll just walk their way back into MC's life. They ain't gonna apologize, fuck no. But they're just gonna walk back in and act like nothing happened. That might have happened in Call of the Night. It's a little iffy. I feel like something like that happened in that show, or it might have happened in the manga. Actually, I can't remember. I ain't gonna lie. I read that shit like 2 years ago. I got sort of off track. Anyways, that Dandadan shit was pretty much my only like good example I can think of. I mean, if y'all can like throw some more out there, that'd be cool. But for this video, that's all I can think of. Now, on the other hand, I got a lot of bad examples for you. There's hundreds of examples I can bring up where the MC is wronged or the MC does no wrong, but he still ends up in the wrong position, and in a position where the other characters should have apologized to him, but they obviously did not. We gonna start off with a fucking banger with this show she mean. Yo, before I even get onto this, I want to talk my shit right quick. I hate this show. I'm not gonna lie, I fucking hate this show. But not because this show is bad. I hate the fans so much.
No. Okay. We gotta have an intervention discussion about this, right? I understand when the fan base of a thing is just fucking insufferable, right?
I feel attacked now too. I am attacked.
Listen, Ellie, I understand when there's a thing and you don't even want to go near it because people are just fucking like crazy dumb fucks about it, right? I am of the mind that you should not let other people's bullshit affect your enjoyment or disenjoyment of a thing. It does not fucking matter, as Gouda says in the chat, right? Because why should I give a shit? Like people, like I'll use My Hero Academia as a good example of this because that's one that I actually watched, right?
Yeah.
The My Hero Academia like fan base, I guess, or fucking fandom as the kids call them these days, right? The people, total fucking insane, crazy Puritan nutso people, right?
Discussing...
Oh, how dare! Like, they're literally calling the author a pedo, right? Constantly, right? because he draws the female characters slightly in attractive outfits or or showing like a modicum of fucking skin or something, right? Just and getting into like autistic arguments over the dumbest shit. But you know what? I don't have to interact with any of that, right? I don't have to engage with those people. I can watch them like they're in a zoo, right? I can watch them through the plexiglass at the zoo as they throw shit at each other like fucking, primates, right? And I could just sit in my little corner and just watch the fucking show. I could just watch the show and talk about the show. I don't have to you don't have to worry. Like I get the reaction, like the feeling of not wanting to be associated with said people, but I think on some level you got to kind of get over that, right?
You're watching anime. You're playing the video games.
You have to ask yourself this, right? Are you playing or watching or I guess engaging with the media is probably the correct terminology, right? Because we'll just in a broad sense, right? Are you engaging with the media because you actually want to engage with the media or because you want to find a community to be a part of? right? And this is a big problem right now, in my opinion, is you have a lot of people, and I'm not going to accuse this guy directly of this because I don't know him, right? But there are a lot of people that seem to only want to get into things for the community aspect. We've talked about this a little bit before in the past. I think there's a clip up where we kind of talk about anime as a social activity and how there are a lot of people that view anime as a social activity and not as something that, not as, an art form that I don't want to use consume because that's, fucking bad terminology, but you get what I'm saying though, right? There are a lot of people that only really interact with the media through the lens of being in a community or fandom, right? And it's kind of gets a little confusing because community and fandom can be used interchangeably here,
Yeah,
right?
but then we kind of go into this is so not unique. This is so normal for everything ever conceived
not
as an
necessarily.
activity.
Yeah, it's not necessarily unique, but it's something that I think people need to become more self-aware of it, right? Because once you become self-aware of it, then you can kind of catch yourself from doing it, right? Like, but I think I've always mentioned that I'm kind of the odd one out. Like, I'm not antisocial per se, but I've never particularly been interested in joining a community, right? I don't really need that as it were.
You're sounding very psizoidic to me right now.
Wait, what? Wait, what? There's a mic problem? What's going on?
Psizoidic.
What is English? What is that?
Psizoidic is a thing which is a reduced need for social connection.
Maybe it's a fancy term. Yeah, maybe that's it. I've never had the drive, right? Right? I obviously have communities I'm a part of. You got the LG boys. You got, I've got my community aspect, right? But I don't need to be in every community, I guess, right? I want to be in the communities that I actually give a fuck about, right? That I actually have people in them that I jive with, right? I don't need I think I've mentioned this before, but back in the Facebook days, right? So you remember when Facebook was like the big thing? It was new, right? It was fresh. Back when I was in, school still, right? But probably even pre-high school. Like when did Facebook? It was like 2012, it's like 2010, 2008. I don't remember exactly, but what I do remember is everyone at school and stuff was like, "Oh wow, I'm on Facebook and I got like 100 friends. I got like 50 friends on Facebook. I got. Oh man, oh man." And I'm just sitting here like, why the fuck do you need like 1,000 friends on Facebook, right? What do you mean? Are you talking to all of them? Are you interacting with those 1,000 friends? Right? What are you doing? So I guess I have a different mindset to this in a sense, but it allows me to kind of look at it from a different perspective. I feel where I look at what people are doing, and I think it's doing the artwork and the thing itself a disservice when you only care about the community aspect, right? And so when this guy's looping it back to the video so we can continue, right? Or move topics.
I've almost looked up the actual thing, I think, but it is taking a bit.
But like again, looping kind of back to looping back to kind of the video side of it when he's talking about how, oh, I hate this show, I think it's bad, right? Like initially you're thinking, oh, you've got criticisms of it. Did you not like the cinematography or the plot or the characters? Did you find something annoying about it, right? But then he just goes into, oh no, it's got nothing to do about the show. It's the community, right? That's the problem. It's the people that and it's really stupid. It's because I don't have a problem if someone let's say I like a thing and you don't like a thing, Ali, right? Like if you don't like a thing and I like the thing. Yeah. If you don't like a thing and I like the thing, if you articulate, hey, I don't like it for X, Y, and Z reasons, right? I'm like, yeah, no, that's valid. Like, if you're not into it, you're not into it. Like, that's fine. But it's when people like this, right, will go, no, the only thing, the thing that's wrong with it is an external factor that has nothing to do with the actual quality of the artwork, right? It's almost like saying, art galleries are, I hate art, right? I hate paintings because people that like paintings are snobbish assholes. I hate movies, Ellie. I hate movies because movie snobs are like, movie critics just hate good movies, right? That I like. So that means I hate movies, right? That's what it feels like. It feels like that. And I think I know I'm ranting a little bit, but I think half the time people like this don't actually realize that's what they're doing when they do that. I think it's they're not. That's why I say self-awareness, right? You need to have self-awareness of the fact that you're doing that, so that you could stop it, because it's very, very annoying and dumb, and you shouldn't be doing it. All right. Anyway, are you done autistically researching the correct terminology for the thing that you want?
I cannot find it. It's a little harder than
I mean,
thought.
we get what you mean. It's like limited, like less. You don't need it. It's not antisocial, but it's like in between antisocial and
it's
being like
I looked at
butterfly.
at the Wikipedia like last week or so, but if you look like at the Wikipedia, it's like a very aggressive, like the super version of it, right? Where you have a total lack of it, but a desperate need to have it anyway, and
Yeah, I don't have that. Yeah,
it's just oh no, I have insomnia. I have to have like a half an hour before I fall asleep instead of like the 5 minutes of a normal person. That's kind of the level difference. So but when you look at insomnia on the Wikipedia, it's like you cannot sleep for the whole.
Looking at the chat, Gouda seems to be on the level. Do you really need that many friends? You need friends who will stick by you. Yeah. You don't need acquaintances plus. Because I think we can all agree that Western Genshin's brain rot in general. Yeah, we were talking about the Genshin anime. There was something more about that I kind of wanted to get into, but maybe we'll do it when we do anime chat, as like a side tangent, because I don't want to side tangent it. Again, now that I've just had a side tangent, 2 side tangents in one. But there is something I did want to talk about with that I found interesting to kind of think about. Yeah, containment for the hood weebs. Yeah, it's really frustrating, because I think that I think that we need to kind of like move away from having a hyper focus on the community aspect, and we need to get back to having a more we need a focus on both creation and appreciation of the works themselves, because something that's a big problem is
tension time is over. I found the words. Schizoid personality disorder is the thing.
Schizoid?
Schizoid personality.
Schizoid. All right. Well, I guess I'll have to psychologize myself or something and figure out if I actually have that.
This is me for real. Based on
me for real.
Based on an internet
search.
To
end the tangent then, right? I think a big problem is I think a big thing that needs to happen is we need to kind of go back to looking, because one of the big problems is there's not a lot of creation going on. There's a lot okay, it's just going to go into a tangent that I was going to talk about the Chinese stuff, but whatever. I'm gonna put a pin in it, and let's get back to our video, man. I'm trying to get the window. Why is the window not coming up? Hold on. Sorry, I'm doing a few things in the background. Wait, why is the window not? Oh, I'm clicking on the wrong one. That's for being a dumbass. All right. Anyway, back to the video.
And this is like not even that well known of an anime, so you're probably like, what the fuck did they do? They barely got a fan base. Well, like the 10 fans that do like this show pissed me off. When the first season came out.
Is he gonna go into like I got one guide on Twitter by a fan of someone on Twitter who likes the show, who had like an anime avatar of the show, called me a slur. And please tell me that's what he's gonna say.
I watched the first season. I'm gonna actually get into.
No, not the second season. Oh, then he's missing the scene where what I was describing before. But no, Natsu, I was watching the Joe, the Pause Select himself on the YouTube, and I was the one who went, well, actually, in the light novels, it explains this and this and this and this and this and this, and then I got in the Discord and hanging out and whatnot. I met him in Japan and all that good stuff. So, do it. You'll meet your internet celebrity. Always, actually, your internet celebrities. You'll meet each other up in real life.
Always one guy. One guy, your internet celebrities. One guy, your local internet celebrity.
It will always work. 100% success rate.
What's his one guy story? Let's hear
that in a second. But for right now, without context, let me just say the ending pissed me off of the first season. So I made a video on it and I was talking my shit, right? Pretty much most people have agreed with me at the time that video was out. But then half a year later, second season comes out and the trash ending to the first season got pretty much like resolved in the second season. But obviously I'm not gonna know that if I only watched the first season and the second season wasn't even out. And I didn't read the manga, so it's not like I would know. But the second season came out, resolved that issue. Then a whole bunch of like I don't understand this. I don't know why people don't know how to read like dates. And
he's wrong, because the first season, the conclusion of the first season was that...
This feels like a skill issue. This feels like a skill issue.
Because the thing... Just the most minor of recap and context and whatnot, right? Our two main characters, or like our two main duo, right, have a personality issue. They are vindictive and mean and manipulative of the people around them. So they both formed a pact together to not do that. And that's the reason why they're sticking with each other. And then the whole first season is them manipulating each other. And the conclusion of the first season then is, this didn't work out. Our pact is failing. And that our pact was the only reason why we were hanging out with each other. So, we break up, kind of. We never were a couple, but pact is dissolved.
Now we're not a couple, yeah.
Yes. So that's the ending of the first season. So if he can, I mean... For us, the viewer,
it's
clear for us.
Okay, so not to interrupt you, but like he. All right, I'll let you go.
All right. So the thing is that for us, the viewer, it's abundantly clear that these two characters should kiss. Or the two puppets kiss. But for our characters, they went through a total failure of a project, right? And do our own thing.
So to interrupt a little bit, right? Because I was going to interrupt. Like, he can have a problem with that, right? Like, if he thinks the ending's shit, then that's personal. That's fine, I guess, right? I think the issue is that, okay, yeah, new information comes out, second season comes out, obviously things change in the second season, it gets better, right? People are going to go back and be like, hey, bro, watch the second season, give it a go, don't jump off just yet, right? I don't know the full context, right, of like what people were saying to him, right, or any of that, because this is like just dumb personal YouTube drama, right?
Yeah.
Like, who gives a shit? But to me, this does feel kind of like a skill issue, because to me, if I was like, I made like a video review of an anime and I only watched the first season and I was like, man, I really hated the ending to this. It was really bad. Not only would I be kind of like maybe a little bit interested in a second season to see if it fixes the parts that I didn't like about the first season. I would also I would expect people to kind of be like, yo, bro, don't come back. It's fire. Don't worry about it. So I kind of on the one hand, I kind of get why it would be annoying, right? I get why it would be annoying. But on the other hand, that's just YouTube comments, man. You cannot look at the YouTube comments, right? You can turn the how the fuck is cyberbullying real? Just turn off the screen.
I guess
right.
It's rare. It's more rare than it. I used to get more, but forever and ever, my video where I disagreed with Turbo writing advice.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love the comments. I just disagree. So nah,
salty.
man, you're wrong.
So salty. Yeah. Probably like the most watched video on the whole channel.
Oh yeah, because it's kind of a semi-drama video, I suppose, right? I'm calling out somebody.
Yeah. But again, it's like I said, you know, just ignore them, right? And again, you shouldn't let dumb fucks influence your opinion on a thing. You need to at least try to separate the dumb fucks from like actually, if you're going to actually critique something, right, or if you're going to actually engage with something, you have to kind of put that in the side, right? But yeah, let's continue.
Making me mad, but around now, it's just hilarious because the shit's still happening. But what I'm saying is, when the second season came out and the shit like got resolved, I don't know why the video was still in the algorithm when it was old, but people who watched the second season came to the video and was like, oh yeah, this dude do not know what he's talking about. Fuck this dude. I can pull up some comments. I'll throw out some screenshots. I don't really care. I actually think I made one.
Oh, we did. Hang on. Let me just. Okay.
Wait for 1 second.
Normies like you shouldn't review animes. Patience is not your thing, right? Normies not getting the show makes me love the series more, and I can't really read the last one because
Bro, I can read it. Pro wants a childish, ordinary, cliche ending. Like, girl, man, not every ending has to be butterflies and rainbows. Realistic shit is always better, but it looks like a shonen brain dead kid can't take a good ending easily.
Yeah, so I guess I was correct that he got one. Well, he didn't get one guide; he got 4 guide. But
well, I mean,
he got one guide by a bunch of dumb fucks on YouTube that were.
I mean, he got nothing on my video. That's comment section is like 99% of people who disagree with me.
I think another problem here is he's also kind of like signaling what pissed him off the most, because what do you notice about a lot of these responses? It's normie. Like, he's getting mad about people calling him a normie, right? And that, to me, right, indicates that I remember the meme that I think I might have posted in the chat once to bring up on the stream of like the Wojak of the guy holding up here's a list of really embarrassing things about myself, please don't bully me using right. That's what this feels like, right? He's signaling, oh yeah, I don't like being called a normie, don't call me a normie. Right? Anyway, like, my man. This is not good.
How many comments a video has? Can't really. Comments, like 68 comments. Ooh, a massive 190 dislike against 30 likes.
Let me do a channel. I'm doing a channel check. What do we got? So, how bad direction ruined a perfect anime? I thought this was a romance anime. So I went to a maid caf. The video we're watching now. This is getting depressing. Gachi Tanka deserves anime of the year, which is the trash show about trash. Oh, he plays Enfield. All right, well, that's based, I guess. Sentenced to be a hero might be peak. I mean, it looks like pretty usual affair. It's nothing particularly like. I'm not seeing anything, but I think he needs to work on his thumbnail game a little bit. His thumbnail game's not that great. That's probably why he's not getting a lot of views. He needs to kind of work on that. I'm trying to find like whatever the video is he's talking about.
I'm reading the comments like he is. Blah 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 blah. Man, not even a stormtrooper would miss. That's how badly I missed the point. Not even a stormtrooper would miss this point.
Ellie, don't get one guide live on stream. No. Don't. Okay. But anyway, back to video. Let's keep listening.
I'll throw out some screenshots. I don't really care. I actually think I made one of those comments like my channel banner because it was hilarious to think about. Like, I think a dude said, "Oh yeah, this dude knows nothing about anime." When you literally check my page, I got like 400 videos of anime up on my.
I don't know if it was 400.
Well, this is like stream number. Where this is stream number 95.
How long has he been doing the game? I'm gonna scroll all the way down his channel and see what. Oh, he's been in the game for a bit. He's been uploading stuff since a year ago.
A year ago. It's like less.
He started uploading 2 years ago. 2 years ago, he was uploading Overwatch shit. Gameplay, and then he started doing anime stuff 2 years ago. So I wouldn't necessarily say he's got 400 videos, but he's got a decent discography, and he's covering some pretty decent stuff. Like he's got some Shimoneta, he's got some Watanabe.
No, I'm not getting like bad opinion vibes from him, really. It's just
I don't think any of this. I don't think. I mean, I'm not watching any of these videos, but I'm not seeing anything that I would like say is egregious, right? Apparently he's watched like 300 anime according to one video title, but like whatever, who fucking cares? I think I also watched I will say, like I said, I think his thumbnail game needs work. His thumbnails are very lazy. They're not very capturing at all. Because one of the things with thumbnail and titling, right, and this is something I thought about when I was doing the clips, right, is you got to kind of get people hooked, right? You got to get people to look at the thumbnail and the thing and kind of be like, oh, I want to watch that. That sounds interesting, right? Like you look at some of the thumbnails that I did for the clips, because obviously we have a template, right? So it makes it a little bit easier, right? I just use the standard template. But like NTR in my ship girls, disgusting, right? Right, and I've got like the anime, the ship girl. I think that's what was that fucking, I can't remember which one that was, but it was one of the meta girls, and she's like looking disgusted face in the thing, right? Leftists have no principles. One that did really well, right? I mean, obviously it did well because politics, right? But I had like the Soviet lolly censored, right? Unprincipled question mark, right? So I kind of thought about when I was making them, right? What would I was like going to put in the hourglass that would be captivating, right? What would I title it, right, to also make it kind of interesting? If I stumbled upon the video randomly on my algorithm, right? What would I click on it, right? And I think that one problem we've got is like they are a little bit messy. I think the theme, the template does kind of make it look a little bit messy. But I mean, at the end of the day, we're not trying to like game the system, right? We're not playing like the major, we're not trying to be totally like accurate. But I think that is better than just screenshot of the anime plus white text, right? Like almost kind of like the thumbnail of this video that you were talking about before. Like the only reason you were into it was because of the title and the fact that it had the anime girl from that show, right, on it. However, like if I saw that video, and I think I did see that video when I was browsing to search for videos, right, using the channel, I looked over it specifically because it was that, because I thought this. Okay, because it doesn't give you.
Me, the romantic comedy expert, went. I know what he's going to say.
Yeah. But I think that's different though, because in my opinion, like the thumbnail and the title needs to give people the hook. Like, what is the video going to be about, right? Fire Force's strongest defender, right? And it's me, and then it's got the Fire Force kid who's coming up pretty fucking soon, by the way. Soon, maybe we'll talk about that next when we talk about anime. But I wanted to make, when I was thinking about the creation of these thumbnails, I wanted to make it kind of very clear via the title and the thumbnail what the video is going to be about, so people can click on them and be like, okay, that's what it's about. K-pop, not even once, right? Art in my video games, biblically Dutch alley, right?
Yeah.
Right. I should get back to making the clips at some point. It's just they take like, each clip took me like at least an hour to an hour and a half to make, right? They do take a while.
I suppose
They're
that it's
kind of a
there's
pain.
also a thing of like getting good at it, because I used to, in
Yeah.
the same way, I used to like have a half an hour per thumbnail, and I was like, oh, this is the vibe. Alright, this show. Screenshot text. Alright, done. 5 minutes.
I had streamlined it. The part that takes the longest is scrubbing through the stream.
That's
it's like
that's
when
a
I was
little
doing the
it's harder
timestamps,
than,
right?
of course.
Yeah, when I was going through the timestamps, right, back in the day when I did timestamps, I would have to like rewatch the whole stream, right? And you know how long we go, right? 3-4 hours, right? I had to rewatch the whole stream, make the timestamps, and then I would go into the editing software after I'd done the timestamps and basically find where the clip was, cut the clip out, copy paste the clip so I could do the intro. So I would cut out the parts from the clip that I wanted to do for the intro, stitch them together. And yeah, the whole process, like to get it start to finish, did take like about an hour and a half on average, or an hour to an hour and a half on average. Because even though I'd streamlined it, it does take a bit, because it has to be individualized for each clip, because each clip is a different thing, right? So you have to cut it in different areas and different parts to get it to work, right? And put in the template, right? So I kind of, yeah, it is what it is, but maybe I'll get back to doing clips at some point, especially if we have like a moment that's like really clippable. I might come back and do them, but right now I've just got other things going on, and I've been a bit too busy and sort of lazy, I guess, in a little bit of a sense, to want to make them. Because, like I said, it is a bit of a time
I do
investment.
feel your pain, because we used to record these, and then I had to. Then I would check if the whole video was not out of sync and anything.
Yeah, we had to do like 1, 2, 3 claps at the start of the fucking recording so we could sync everything together and make sure we weren't fucked. And then we'd have to do audio processing and a bunch of other shit. Yeah, I remember that. It was good times. But anyway, enough reminiscing. Back to we got to get through this. We've got like 10 minutes left. So.
Oh, shit, whatever. That's salty. The point is that a whole bunch of people who seen the second season started hating on my shit. But at the time I made the video, there was no first season. And now, since they kept talking, like I eventually planned on watching the second season and like correcting myself, I guess. But since they kept talking, I refused to watch the second season to this anime, and I hate this show now. There's nothing even wrong with the show, but I just hate the fans.
He's missing out on some good destruction of ego.
Again, it's like if you didn't like it and you don't want to watch the next season or do the thing, right? It's like whatever, right? It's fine, it's okay. Just it's okay. It's fine. You just do whatever, right? It's fine. But I think that having like a negative experience and going through this whole thing, I think it's silly. I think it's a bit silly. But anyhow, let's keep going.
That's not even all the fans. Maybe I just got like, I don't know, bad luck. Like the wrong people found the video. Word. Anyways, let me actually get into my example. Around to the end of the first season of the anime, this girl Yuki had framed this one girl and got her arrested. Now, I ain't gonna say that girl's totally innocent. I mean, I'm sure you just seen in the clip, she was holding her at knife point. But with more context, it makes sense. Yuki kind of just started like rage baiting her shit. Just like talking hella shit to this girl, to the point where that girl would obviously attack Yuki and made it look like she tried to kill her, even though she had no plans on doing it. But whatever. Point is that she practically framed that girl, or I won't even say framed because she almost did something. I'll say she lured her into a crime, like she instigated her into doing a crime, and then
kind of.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know the technical.
Yeah, I'll spare you all the
term.
details and tricks and conspiracies that she pulled off to get into a situation. But yeah, what's his point? I wonder.
Got her arrested, which isn't totally morally correct. Once again, the details on what happened isn't the importance, it's the resolution from that. Or it wouldn't even be safe to call this a resolution, actually. After, that whole setup thing, our MC went to confront Yuki because what she did, obviously, wasn't the best thing. But instead of them coming to any type of understandings, the girl started going off on MC and started making him feel like he was the one in the wrong here. And in the end, she just told MC to fuck off, pretty much ending the whole friendship thing they had going on. She made it seem like he was the crazy one for getting mad at her for luring somebody in to get arrested. She was mad at him for not being cool with her getting people arrested on some bullshit. But
no, they were angry at each other and went, damn, this pact of ours to change your wicked personalities has failed. Time to split up.
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing some entrapment, crazy nonsense bullshit, I'd say yeah, it's kind of fucking failed a little bit.
The point with my example right here is that she obviously did something wrong, but instead of her ever being held accountable for anything she's done, I mean, maybe she did in the second season, but guess what? I ain't ever knowing, because fuck this show. But going off the context of just season 1, right? She obviously did something wrong here, but doesn't get held accountable for it. MC tries to call her out for it because, that's what homies should do. Call your homies out on the bullshit they be doing. But instead, she just tells them to fuck off. Fuck
screen?
all that.
I it's his avatar. For some reason, he's switched to using his avatar.
But,
I guess
I should be apologizing.
Alright, okay. Well, one last time, right? Yuki knows that she's been plotting this thing for months, basically. So she kind of already accepted that she failed at that task. And the only thing that she can do is call out the other guy who also failed at changing his wicked ways.
Changing the wicked ways. Those wicked whammon.
And then she goes, I failed, time to split up. And he goes, oh, I guess I also failed. Alright, then we split up. Rip, he goes. And then the whole second season happens.
So over. Yeah, so over. But anyway, let's keep going.
For not being understanding.
What does this have to do with the actual subject?
Well, because in his eyes, right now, he is calling him out, right? For being nosy and always wanted to be the detective and wants to know everything before everybody else and being the super smart one that will explain everything and be very annoying. And he has been doing that, and he knows it kind of, but he hasn't been explicitly told it. So this is kind of her telling him, you fucked up. He is telling her, you fucked up. This was your plan all along, with all the details and the thing and this and that, and all my detective work has led me to believe that you were the one who was all doing everything. And then she goes, very good of you. You said you would never do this again. You failed. But he already said you wouldn't do this. You failed. So the conclusion is we both failed.
We're both fuck ups.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's. We've got 7 minutes basically left. So
understanding about the dumb shit I just did. Now, even with how plain and simple that example I just gave was, if you've seen the second season, that whole shit can be undermined. But now for this next example, this shit is pretty much cut and copy of what I'm trying to tell you about. At some point in the show, the girl with the blue hair, our main girl, ended up putting one of the other characters in the show onto MC. She played a wingman for him and helped this girl get closer to MC because she liked him. At this point in the show, obviously, main girl didn't have any feelings for MC, so that was yada yada. She was fine with him dating other people and all that. But then, of course, the main girl is going to catch some type of feelings at some point. But as well, at that point, MC and that other girl kind of started hitting it off. They ain't dating yet, but there's a little chemistry around there, and main girl's noticing that. But instead of moving on, out of nowhere, their main girl kind of just flips out, makes a whole scene, and basically cuts MC off. Like she was acting as if MC was cheating on her with this other girl that she put him on. Like she was acting as if MC was cheating on her with this other girl that she put him on. Which, you know, like the two of them have never dated ever. Like there was no misunderstandings here. It's pretty obvious who's in the wrong at this point. But guess who's the one who ended up apologizing after all that? MC. Of course it's going to be the MC. What's he apologizing for? I don't fucking know. He's kind of just apologizing to apologize. What did he do? Nothing. But he kind of just came up to her like, hey, I don't really know what's going on, but you're the homie.
I don't really know what's going on either. Context, Ellie. What happened? What's going on?
So he's not wrong. It was a thing where, she. Well, the thing was that she. Well, both of them really, right? But she kind of treated him as a safe option, right? Keep him as a friend around forever, and maybe a boyfriend later, but the real thing is that he's just always safe to have around. But then at some point, she kind of entertains the idea of them hooking up with another girl. That is never happening because that would just be like another friend affair. And nothing will ever come of it anyway, etc. But then it turns out to be more serious than she kind of expected, and then kind of semi flips out. It is mostly true that it is her fault for kind of allowing this and not stopping this. On the other hand, our main character does like the girl and is kind of going through the motions undecidedly and playing both sides in his own way by going along with dating sort of, but not actually officially doing so. And still still hanging out with her as if nothing have changed.
So I guess my question is, in this situation that he's complaining about, what was the MC's apology justified or not? Because this is all getting a bit confusing. This is like,
this is what I kind of liked about the show, that it is like everybody has like multiple conflicting goals and opinions and feelings, and oh no, I consequences of my actions. I didn't expect this. How will I emotionally deal with this?
I will never emotionally recover from oh man. Alright, anyway, let's keep going.
And I don't want to stop being homies, so my bad for whatever might have happened. And I just want to put all this behind us, yada yada. But all in reality, bro didn't do nothing wrong but get close with a girl that this girl tried to put him on with. And yet, he is still the one apologizing because the anime made it seem like he was the one in the wrong here. And it's not even like, oh, okay, this girl's obviously in the wrong and MC's just a sucker. No, everybody around them kind of just started seeing like MC was the one in the wrong, and everyone was pushing him to go apologize. Like, look, I'll even show the fucking clips. Fuck it. Like, there was even a point where the side girl that got put on to MC was trying to help MC go apologize to other girl. And you know what's crazy? This isn't like the only time something like this happens in this anime. I've already made a video on this anime. There's so much fucking like annoying, toxic bullshit that be going on in this. And it's not even just like the other girl's fault. It's MC's fault too, some of the times. But it's pretty much only MC that's apologizing throughout this whole show though. But yeah, that was a cut and copy example of what I'm trying to not see. In that situation, I think blue hair girl should have been the one apologizing. Am I tripping if I'm saying that? Or
is he Ellie? Is he tripping if he's saying that? 'Cause I don't fucking know.
No. So, one other
yeah, you're
thing.
the expert here.
So there's one minor detail, right? In this, he's kind of two timing in a way, but he's also kind of just wholesale abandoning her because he was told he's making like small type jewelry things, right? Whatever. And all his work is based on main girl. And he's getting kind of a bit stale. So new inspiration, get new girl to make jewelry for new girl, new look, new vibe, new things, not stale. And MC here is just kind of going, well, she has this which you don't, and she has this which you also don't, and she has this which you also don't, and also she has this which you will never get. So it's at the end it's kind of a beatdown of, hey, why are you annoying me the whole of the time? I wish you would, but not in a complicated emotions, Normetsu. He is kind of blunt and cutting her off, but not wanting to end the friendship. So also semi-keeping a romantic ocean. Like I said, Normetsu, I like the show for having a lot of different complicated emotions and social dynamics and blah, 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 blah. So, yes, he is partly wrong for things. She is also partly wrong for things because she does a much more heinous thing later on, which he might or may not mention.
They're made for each other, basically.
Basically,
is what I'm gathering from this. So yeah, all right. Well, let's keep going.
Or boom, you know what? She don't even have to apologize. Just end the friendship. Fuck it.
Just end the friendship. Fuck it.
But just end the friendship and leave it at that. But don't make MC look like he's the one in the wrong and have to go apologize to her and reconcile and shit. Like, no, she don't want to apologize while being in the wrong. MC got to do it. No, fuck that. End the friendship or have her apologize. Anyways, let me get on to my next example, which is also another romance show. And honestly, that's the genre where most of this shit I'm talking about is happening in. Anyways, in this show, there's this.
Hey, it's the lesbians.
Hey.
Hey. All right, let's hear about the lesbians.
This girl that likes our MC. MC's pink hair. But yeah, there's this girl who likes our MC, but MC doesn't really like this girl like that. She really just wants to be friends. And I would like to make a note right here to tell you that our MC has expressed that feeling of disinterest to this girl multiple times, right? But you know,
listen, man, you gotta listen. The cat and fish game is a tale as old as time. All right, you gotta, the girl, woman. I'm gonna do a fucking sexism. Woman, right? Am I right, Ellie? Woman. They say they don't want it, but they really do want it. They want the chase, right? They want the chase.
Well, in this case, blonde girl here is just super entitled, feeling massively entitled. You cannot refuse me. I am the GOAT.
Yeah. It's a different situation. I'm just joking, obviously. But funnily enough, I was there's this funny BDSM archetype test thing that's been going around on Twitter, and I had a look into it, and I was looking into it, and it's funny that one of the things, there's like a whole thing around like predator and prey as like a sexual orientation, which I found, I didn't even know about that. Well, I did kind of know about that, but I didn't think it was big enough for it to make its way into like the survey thingy. Or not survey, but one of those things that you answer like 70 questions and then it spits out an archetype, right? I didn't get that specifically, but a lot of the questions are like, oh, I like to be chased, the thrill of the hunt, that kind of shit, right? Like there's probably a lot of people out there that like to play those kinds of like games where they act like they're not interested, but what they really want is for the guy or the girl to like actively pursue them, right?
Feeling desired and all that good stuff.
Yeah, and you've seen that in a lot of media as well, right? That's like an archetype that's as old as fucking storytelling, right? Where you'll have the girl be like, "No, I don't want you," and the guy's like, "No, I want you," and then and over the course of the story, they slowly start realizing the girl's like, "No, well, I do actually like you," and that kind of thing. Hell, Cinderella's in general are literally that archetype, right? Where they're like super, Baka, I wouldn't do anything for you. I don't like you, but it's like secretly doki doki, right? It's the same kind of thing. But anyway, let's keep going. Let's keep hearing about lesbian.
For some reason, motherfuckers do not know how to take no for an answer when they get rejected. So
Well, Ellie, the blonde girl takes no for an answer. Anime ends in 1 episode.
Yeah, basically.
I fucking got my man. Like, come on, come on.
Obviously, she's gonna continue like pursuing MC. Actually, that context doesn't matter. I was gonna say the two of them come to some type of agreement, but that really don't matter here. Once again, we're not talking about what's happening. We're talking about how it's ending. I can't really show too much of the scene, but basically, that girl was making some approaches on MC, right? But then someone MC knew happened to walk in on them, and of course, by natural reaction, MC told the person that got them in that situation to just bug off because multiple occasions she was like, "Hey, I'm not really interested in you," but like she's gonna keep continuing, and then that continuation ended up getting MC caught up in some shit. But instead of that girl apologizing to MC, the other girl starts getting in her feelings, making MC look like she's the one in the wrong. And once again, it's not just like, oh, this character's flawed and she's just, on some bullshit. No, it's not like that, because all the other characters around them are looking at MC like she was the bad guy. They got a whole bunch of mutual friends, so they on the inside out knowing what's going on, and they're like, oh yeah, MC's a fucking prick. Since everybody else around her is just telling her, oh yeah, you in the wrong. Of course, later on, MC's gonna have to go and apologize to this girl when once again, MC ain't really do nothing wrong, even though really MC's.
I think Gouda's right, or not Gouda, 5-0 is right in that it's like, it seems like this is a realism argument, right? Because yeah, realistically, blonde girl kind of not really raping, but like pseudo getting in on the MC
would be kind of like more the actual grooming. Like, I am rich. It
would be a little bit. It would be a little bit more serious, right? It would be a little bit more of a serious problem. But because this is an anime, it is fiction. It is not real. It does not need to portray a realistic situation.
And the thing that the agreement is a total cop out on to placate the pink haired girl, because she's just not the anxiety wreck that Bocchi is, but she's anxious and avoiding conflict and avoiding saying what she really wants and dealing with situations. Kind of would rather run away. And this whole arrangement is her just running away for like 1 month. No, extend that for another 3 months. No, till the end of the year. No, till we graduate. So it's just endless extending the the due by date of when there's an actual resolution. So when blonde girl is upset that there's no resolution, that it keeps getting postponed, whose fault is it? Right? So that's the thing that pink-haired girl has to apologize for. Sorry for being such a anxiety, a conflict avoiding person that doesn't give a straight answer to anything because I'm kind of scared of doing that. And then, of course, blonde-haired girl has to apologize once or twice for sorry for presuming that I am correct and that you'll do what I say, stuff. But those are different apologies for different moments, so they don't do it.
So
to
it
each other
makes
at the
sense
same
in the
time.
context of the show, right? It makes sense in the context of the show what's going on, even if again it's not necessarily realistic, quote unquote, because again we're watching entertainment. We're not here to like the hyper. I could go on a rant about the hyper focus on realism and fictional media, but I'm not going to really. We're almost done with the video. Let's just get this
It's
done.
the one who should be apologized to right here. Anyways, I know this video is dragging, so I just got one more example I want to throw out. And honestly, I really hate to criticize this show because it's one of my favorite fucking comedy shows, but it definitely has its issues here and there. But let me give some context. Our MC happens to run this amusement park or whatever, and he also has this assistant that works with him. But our MC kind of fits that genius archetype, and he can pretty much handle most of the work that's given to him, being the park owner and all that. But I guess his assistant kind of sees that as a bad thing because it makes her feel like she isn't really needed. But instead of, trying to go out her way to make her own lane where she can find the different ways to be useful other than, doing whatever, she decided to lash out at MC instead. She decided to get mad at an MC for her own feelings of incompetence. Like, she's not mad at MC, obviously. She was mad at herself, and she ended up taking it out on MC. Honestly, in this situation, no one's to blame. That's some human shit. But also in the normal world, when you make a mistake, you usually gotta make up for it. And if you harm someone with that mistake, you should obviously apologize to them. But instead of apologizing, well, actually, there was no apology in general, like on either side, no apology. But instead, what the anime did is going to throw another cliche that I use a lot of times, and I like to call it the mutual enemy. Basically, the amusement park started flooding, and then the two of them had to work together to stop the flooding or whatever. Then boom, no apologies or nothing. They just had to work together, and then everything was fine again. And I guess this example isn't too bad compared to everything else, but it does fit the criteria of what I'm trying to talk about. The criteria of the MC being victimized for pretty much no reason, because once again, after they had their whole little bout,
the first crime is really the MC making her feeling, not accounting for her feelings to begin with. Because in a sense, right, she was like the previous manager. She didn't do a very good job, but she was like the manager, and she had responsibilities and tasks and do and whatnot. Then he comes in and he does all the tasks and doesn't give her anything to do. That's now his responsibility to make sure that she has something to do. So if you want to, in that sense, right, he's responsible for making sure that the employees, magical creatures that they are, have a function and role in this park. And he has nothing for her. Whose fault is it? His. Is she out of line for, taking out her own insecurities on the MC? Sure. But that's like is second in line of the crimes. Them not really apologizing, but in the end finding out that they both have a role to play is as good as a resolution of the main problem that we started the episode with. So, I mean, do you apologize every single time there's a mutual mistake of any kind? Or
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's It's silly.
Our MC was starting to get looked at as the one in the wrong. Like, all the other employees in the park was looking at bro like he was the crazy one for them having a little falling out for a little bit. No apologies had to happen though this time, so it wasn't as bad as the other ones, but still. Anyways, enough of my rant for today. It's been so fucking long since I did this shit. It's been pretty much a month, and I did say I was going to do these once a month, so I guess I am on schedule. Honestly, I would have did another one way sooner than this, but I just didn't have any like good topic I wanted to rant about. Like I had a whole bunch of mini topics, but not enough where I can make a full video on them like I did in here. Anyways, to round this one up though, once again, I just want to say my statement I said at the start. I don't have a problem with any of this. Like any of these interactions right here I just mentioned did not make me like a show any less than I already did or did not like it. I don't have any issues with the MCs being in the wrong. They're the MC. Of course they're going to be in the wrong a majority of the time. They're the spotlight, really. And I'm used to that at this point. What I'm just saying is that I want to see more of the other way around, where another character's in the wrong and then they apologize to MC instead of the MC having to apologize for another character's wrongs. How about we just, switch it up here and there?
I mean, didn't the Kappa, the Mantis alien in Dandadan, apologize for a bunch of things and resolve and whatnot? It's not like any of the characters on the human side apologized for attacking him and beating him up and whatnot, right? There was no apologies of any kind towards him. He was nothing but grateful and happy and thank you, I'll repay this gratitude. Isn't that a situation where the side character profusely apologizes to the main character?
I'm just still really confused. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like zoned out a little bit during that because he really wasn't making a lot of sense. And even in his examples, I'm still kind of like not really 100% sure on what he wants, right? Like he wants situations in which side characters or supporting characters, I guess, fuck up and have to apologize to the main character, but as opposed to everything always being the main character's fault. However, we have kind of established that even in a lot of the examples, there are things that the main character kind of messed up, either through miscommunication or some other means, right?
Oversights,
yeah. Like I think I hold to my opinion that I had early on that this feels like this guy had a shower thought, and he was probably thought, "Oh, this is so deep. This is so deep. I better express this." And I mean, that's not a problem necessarily, but I think that he probably could have done with thinking about letting this cook, right? This idea cook a little bit more. Maybe make a script for it. Come up with some ideas, brainstorm some stuff, instead of trying to kind of do it all on the fly. But anywho,
yeah, no, there is. I mean, I made thumbnails.
I'll let you do final thoughts because I'm gonna go take a piss.
I made the thumbnail and title stuff blind. He knows more than I made the thumbnail and title on. But he is. I suppose he's not really considering every time the main character does apologize in some way. But no, it's not often like a big emotional payoff, because if a side character would emotionally, in a very big emotional way, apologize to the main character, then oops, you made an arc where the side character is now the main character and has to, resolve all these personal issues, etc., etc., etc. That's not how it goes. The main character goes through the character development where she has to realize a thing and apologize to do the thing, etc., etc. So having the side character go through an arc like that is not something you would do that often, especially for a show that has like a bunch of side characters. So yeah, and apologies. Yeah, the MC is going to do I'm going to repeat myself. The MC is going to make mistakes to do the character growth. Having side characters do the character growth. Yeah, that happens a lot, but you can then point towards, oh, that was the character development for the side character. And the side character did an apology to another character, but he's in this kind of like an endless loop, right? In the big character development arc, the character who's getting the character arc has to go to a realization and self-actualization and has to do an apology and thing or something or another.
Yeah.
The moment another character, oh, but I want that character to do that. All right, then that character is now the main character for this arc and has to go through that. But then this new main character is doing things wrong, and so you can go round in circles forever. So he's kind of
I guess we can. I guess we can talk about the animus. It's time to animalooze up. I'm gonna animalooze it up.
Let's do like this middle one first. Want to start with the fates?
Yeah, we can talk about the fates. Big interesting fights happening in the fates right now. New character introduction. New girl. We got new girl who's
two girls.
Yeah.
We got like
who are they? Who don't know?
Number two. I kind of liked, she's kind of feels like a kind of a Swedish, Nordic stereotype kind of girl with the blue dress deal, right? And like the not pigtails, but kind of hair that could be that style. I found her funny because every time she does a thing, it's this berserker, destroy everything you see.
Yeah.
So she really fits like the berserker role very well.
Well, I don't know. It's an interesting summon. I'm wondering
like a mechanical dragon of some kind.
It's like a mech looking weird alien thing. Kind of do. I guess we should probably do a little bit of. So basically, we're introduced to. She does a summon for a thing. Is it the Ainsberg family?
Ainsberg makes homunculus. Yeah, homunculi.
Homunculus shows up, saves her life. Basically, is like, hey, hang out with me. We're gonna go do some fun shit. Our girl really wants to destroy the mage. Mage is bad. Kill all the mage genocide for some reason.
Yeah, the master wants to do mages destroyed her life. She's going to destroy mages.
Yeah, destroy the workshop kind of stuff. And so basically they're fighting against our evil guy who's got all
the mafia with the Hercules, the Alekes guy.
Alekes, man, yeah, they're having a big fight. And then our funny woman who summoned himself, right, shows up it's like, hey, you guys got to chill. I'm gonna put you in like an illusion so you can chill out. You can calm down. And that was kind of the extent.
Well, there was like a thing.
There's a few other little things here and there.
Like, hey, assassin, fake assassin, fake lancer / watcher, and real saber are now kind of like pact, a bond, a ceasefire, a truce deal. Some betrayal, some internal politicking happening over there.
Watcher man is like, yo, your boss ratting you out,
and he's like, all right. Oh, I was ratted out. All right, new friends, let me tell you all the things I know.
Yeah, because he's like hesitant at first because of like the employee, because he's like a mercenary, right?
I cannot disclose details from my clients.
I cannot disclose details. And then as soon as the overseer summon ghost lancer guy is like, yo, your boss is sending people here right now.
Wait,
your
what?
Boss is selling you out right now. Guys like, on second thought. He doesn't go exactly like that. It's a little bit cooler than that. But it's still, it's fun. It's fun.
Also, I just wanted to quickly mention the Ainsberg homunculus is had no soul because homunculi, etc.
Homunculus don't have souls.
Yeah, whatnot. All they can form a soul apparently, but etc. Number two, I'm pretty sure that's Ishtar in there. For one, she has Rin's voice, mannerisms. She does the hair flick back, which she did in, which Tosaka Rin did.
She mentions goddess, being a goddess type behavior.
Also, when she does the, she puts her hand on, little girl master's head, you see flashes of Uruk. The actual walls of the ancient Mesopotamian city and whatnot in the Ziggurat. So that's Ishtar. Though it's from what I remember, the thing with Ishtar is that in Fate Grand Order, Ishtar was kind of inhabiting the body of an existing personality, existing body, right? That looks like Rin, etc. Blah blah blah. And there was a thing where it was a kind of an amalgamation of two personalities. Here, Ishtar, as I assume, is a little bit more mean. Echo from, hey, look, oh, you killed yourself? Cool, but do it better next time. I'm going to time to rule all of humanity now. So she's a little bit more mean this time, but she still has like the same fighting style with hands, arms stretched out, hands bent downwards and arced backwards when she does magical shoot things in the air. That's a very Ishtar thing to do. So I'm happy. I like Ishtar's character.
Yes.
I like
well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see if it is in fact our girl. We will find out. But other than that, yeah, no, it was pretty good. It was pretty fun. It was a good time. There's a lot of build up going on kind of in the background with the horseman, the little cancer girl. Oh no, the dead apostle child guy is
together with the
big grooming's about to happen.
Hanging out with the fake rider, because don't forget that Black Smoke is a rider, and I'm very very sure that's the Black Death. Is the Rider Death.
Well, like I said, we'll see. We will see how that plays out. Okay, well, Fire Force. So big things are happening in the Fire Force. Essentially, our heroes pseudo fail. The Giovanni man manages to put the key in the nuke building, and now there's a giant fucking eye UFO in the sky, and yeah, the dimensional merge is happening. Fiction is becoming reality. Everything's changed. I will say it is really artistically fascinating. The way that they're portraying it, because the way that they're kind of portraying it is like the world is becoming more like a manga, right? Like a comic. Because when the big eye shows up, UFO eye thing that's kind of connected to the pillars, right, shows up, they switch to all the different characters' reactions, and you see the speech bubbles, the thought bubbles, and the text, and what they're thinking. Yeah, like it's like the world is turning into the book, right? Which I think is a really interesting way. I'd have to read the manga to see how they portrayed that in the manga, right? But I think it's an interesting way to use the medium, right, to convey the idea, right, of what's effectively happening in the Fire Force universe is fiction and reality, or I shouldn't say fiction, but what people's perception, right? Like the perception versus reality are merging together, the way people view things. And so the inverse of the way that people view things is also happening, right? And it's explained that this is being fueled by everyone's negative emotions, right? Despair, hate, rage.
Mm-hmm.
All of these negative emotions are kind of fueling this dimensional merge that's happening right now, and all of the fires that we see is kind of everyone's negative emotions burning away, right? Like it's all
Yeah.
getting burnt, and
Mm.
that's what's going to turn the planet into a sun, right? And that's what the main bad guys, right, the evangelists or whatever, that's what their main plan is. It is to create a new sun by burning everyone's negative emotions, and in order to do that, they have to make everyone lose hope, right? They have to make everyone despair and lose hope and think it's the apocalypse in order to effectively create the apocalypse, right?
Yeah.
So that's going to be kind of the heroes or the good guys, the Fire Force's sort of attempt to stop it is by reinstilling hope. And it's one of the reasons why they need Shinra to come to be the hero, because he's going to become the symbol of, humanity,
Mm-hmm.
right? I've watched Soul Eater. I haven't. Arthur's glory moment is probably in like another couple of episodes. He's hinted at doing. He did some cool stuff this episode though, but I'll get to that. But essentially, that's kind of the situation, right? And after Giovanni kind of does his thing, he's like celebratory and all that. Arthur bursts through the fucking wall like the Chad that he is.
Mm.
And he's like, "Oh, is this the final boss room?" I've made it to the final boss, and Giovanni is parasitically inserted himself into the head of like the little adopted son of what's his name, the mechanic guy. And Arthur is just, and he's like, "Ha! You can't remove me without killing the kid. You would never." And Arthur just runs up and just stabs the kid in the forehead with his plasma sword, but he does it with like like a needle version of his sword, and he's like, "Yeah, I just like vaporized the parasite in the kid's brain because I can do that because I'm Arthur and I'm a Giga Chad." Right? Because I can't wait for Arthur to get his moment, because with all of this, like, because his whole fucking power for the whole season has been his delusions making him stronger, and now he's literally in a world where his delusions are even gonna make him even stronger than
Yeah,
what
of
he
course it
already
would.
was. Yeah. And what's they teased the Dragoon fight that's coming with the dragon guy from the last season, like half of the season. They teased it, and Arthur's gets given, Arthur, you've successfully beaten the boss. Here is a ring made from the last of the meteorite, not the meteorite, the spaceship metal or whatever, but we'll call it something fancier because here is your reward. Now you are the true King Knight. You are. And he senses the dragoon, and he's gonna go kill the dragon. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I'm hype. I'm down. It's been really interesting. The other part of it is we got a little bit of info on the girl that has like the crown on her head, right? She has been absorbing all of humanity's negative emotions since she was born, and there's like a lot of stuff around that. And so she's kind of acting as like the conduit for the negative emotions to be burnt, right? Because she's like connecting the two. It's very interesting. However, next episode,
Yeah.
the preview of the next episode, Ellie, you got our image. Our image, get the bot going. Get our bot going.
Oh,
let me grab. Well, we haven't used it yet. We haven't used it yet, but I gotta grab my meme. Let me copy my image.
Bot logging in.
Bot has logged in. I see that it has logged in. It is here. I'm gonna post. So this is next episode, right? This is. This is.
This move it slightly better over here, then go over here.
This is what we're dealing with, guys.
Whoosh.
This is what's coming. Get ready. Are you ready?
Yeah, sit over here.
Yeah, there you go. Another 20 trillion. Fire Force 2 is called.
It's not as bad still, Naretsu, as the Three Houses Discord.
My man, because guess what? We're getting the Tamaki episode. We're getting the fan service episode next episode. It's the fight's happening. It's gonna happen. We're getting it, and I'm so excited. I am so excited. I hope that the boy makes an appearance. We get the boy, the meme boy, the classic. I think I have that meme lying around. I have to go find it. I pray that they keep that in. I think it's gonna be so fucking great if they keep that in. It's so funny. But yeah, I suspect all of the fan service bad people are going to go have a fucking heart attack next episode and never shut the fuck up about it, because they still haven't shut the fuck up about it. Like shit, people were going after Soul Eater as well on Twitter recently. That was a thing. That's sort of the same shit, the fan service shit, and it's just fucking. Yeah, even if you threaten others with violence to force your ideals on them, your sexual frustrations won't be solved if you don't change yourself. It's peak. So yeah. So anyway, that's next episode. I'm hyped for that. But in general though, like I kind of hold true to what I've been saying about Fire Force for a little bit, that I find it fascinating. I actually think like the author's cooking with this idea of using narrative, right, as a key focal point in the story, and the idea of narrative merging with reality to create a new reality. I think the themes, right, the substance here is fascinating, and I can kind of get now why a lot of the more like, you know, shonen tardy people were probably not really happy, because this is a very high concept kind of idea to get into in something that you would think is just like a thing about firefighters fighting fire demons, right? Right? It's very much gone from firefighters fighting fire demons to big commentary about how narrative shapes reality, right? Or how reality shapes narrative, and the two. What would happen if the two kind of did interweave together and we started affecting our reality through our perception, right, of it, right? Or even like does it? Because I mean that's the thing. We like this is getting really deep, really quick, and I'm going to move on soon.
Yeah,
but think of it this way, right? We perceive reality through our senses, right? But is that actually what reality is, right? Is that actually true? And this is a thing that I've heard about, like as a philosophical idea in question, right? Is the reality that we actually perceive true reality, or is that just what we've evolved to be able to see, right? Like, is there like another layer that we can't even perceive because we don't have the ability to, right? It's very fascinating, and those are the questions that it's bringing up, right? In Fire Force, like via exploring these ideas. I love it. I fucking love it. It's great. Anyway, moving on before I I can rant about it. Talk about because I've been talking for a bit. Talk about your Tomboy show. How's Tomboy show going? How's the romance show going?
Tomboy going. They're still at like the summer resort, hanging out, the thing. I kind of I have to admit I'm kind of watching it now for the novel experience of watching a hardcore shoujo. It's the most shoujo to have shoujoed, where a younger girl is crushing on their main on our main love interest's main guy, who is not interested in her at all, but she's able to cling to her in a very modest bathing suit to our boy, which makes our tomboy dressed as a boy jealous because she cannot use whatever female allure she has, because she has to pretend to be a boy. Meanwhile, blonde idiot is still the most massive idiot that has ever existed. Our girl Naretsu, our cross-dressing girl, is in a bath. She's naked. And then our blonde boy comes in like, he's in a bath. Oh, I can talk to him naked, but it's a total cool thing for bros to do, right? Hang out in the bath.
Yeah.
And
Why
then
is my pee twitching? What's going on?
And then he passes out from whatever excitement and whatever, and then he doesn't get to see the naked boy. He's very upset. Meanwhile, the arrogant antagonist from the first couple episodes is still just hanging around, and he's being nice. He's constantly babysitting like a 6-month-year-old. So he's very firmly being placed in the category of good older brother who can take care of a toddler. So he cannot really be a massive antagonist right now. So he's been effectively neutralized. And there's some shady. There's this guy at the like resort place, hostel inn, who is kind of making moves on our tomboy, but she doesn't really seem to register it. And our main guy, is kind of feeling like that it isn't his place to interfere with relationship that she might develop, because she is, still keeping a secret that she's a girl, but that doesn't mean that she cannot form a relationship with other guys. But he still feels somewhat jealous and creating distance, which our main girl is kind of conflicted about. So it keeps to be, maybe I should summarize it by saying it's super shoujo still. Shoujo maxing is still massively strong.
Yeah. So, going from shoujo maxing to ecchi maxing, I guess. Chain soldier, slave soldier. It's we're in downtime mode. We big fights go on. Big down training time. Oh, the mum accidentally borrows the slave. Turns out he's got like super strong rubber man abilities.
When she uses him.
Yeah, and then that leads to eating honey off her breasts. It was very good. It was very good. Good stuff. And then they kind of have a little bit of a thing where it's like, oh, if we leaned him out to other people, he gets stronger in his base form. Oh, but I love him though. big I love you, but I don't want to actually say that I love you. Oh, I'm gonna kiss you, but is it part of the reward or not? Maybe. Who knows? And this is in the lead up to the big fight with the thunder god girl who's kidnapping a bunch of women right now to eat them. And so that's kind of where we're at. And like I said, it's fine. It's good. It's solid, ecchi fun. Not really too much in depth we could talk about. Roll Over and Die, on the other hand, we've got
to maybe highlights for me in the episode, Nametsu, was when our main guy Dane come back and failed noble son that he is went, I can finally take revenge on my rapist friends.
Yeah, he's fucking crying over his rapist friends. That's so funny. I actually laughed. It was so funny.
Oh, my best friends who were just raping a girl, cruelly killed.
I guess we should do some context. So our boy here, he's got a bunch of the guards in his pocket for blackmail or whatever. His spreading these rumors that our main girl is big murderer, big bad murder girl. Capture her. They have a big running around the street, escaping. She's getting hit by arrows and healing and all this other stuff. And then he's like, haha, I got this random blind girl. This random blind girl I picked. Well, he didn't pick her off the street, but like, this random blind girl I just randomly happened to have. I'm gonna force her to drink this deadly, big, dead poison, big cyanide, instant death poison. If you don't come over here and drink it yourself, right? And so she drinks it, and she dies, I guess. Well, she doesn't die, but she dies, and that's when our boy is like, "I've avenged you, my friend. I've avenged finally." And he's like fucking crying, and I love it. I think it's great. And then obviously our girl comes back to life, and she's on fire because the effect of the cursed sword is like purging the toxin, right, and healing her from the toxin. And this leads to the actual Royal Knights showing up and beating the shit out of Paul and his boys. And then he fucks off. He gets injured, and he in the thing. And it turns out, I will say, I think that a little bit of a problem with the storytelling here, to be a bit critical for a moment, is that we keep encountering like, all these characters, they encounter our girl Flem, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I love you. I remember you. We hanged out for like a year or two or something." It's just, it's so convenient, I guess, a little bit. It's a little bit too. I mean, I guess she was part of the heroes' party, so while she was part of the heroes' party, and the explanation with our new introduced kind of night girl is that she helped escort her and the other heroes to the capital and kind of brought her into the heroes' party, right? But I feel like it keeps happening, right? Where we get introduced to characters that are just like, "Oh yeah, you're so cool. Wait, why do you got the slave mark on you? It's a long story, Yeah.
Fucking Jane.
Yeah. How many times have we had that, right? Like that fucker, that glasses fucking loser cunt. Yeah, it's getting a little bit old. Right? How many other like secret friends does she have? Right? That just, oh god. But anyway, that aside, right? We end up.
Just one more final detail, because the whole thing about she was like, "Oh, she killed somebody," and it was like, the rapist, Friends of Dane, so kind of a whole setup basically, and the whole thing. It kind of is. I'm still feeling the women experience in this Naretsu, where it is a big of, "Oh, my friends, they were rapists, but they were such good friends. Hey, have you heard of this Jeffrey guy?"
Are you starting to come along to my perspective that woman's hands touched the show? Or touched this. A woman author authored this, because that was also strong this episode too, where they're like having the tea party, and we've got all of the lovey-dovey stuff that keeps happening, right? And I mentioned it last week, where I feel I still hold to my belief this is ecchi for women. This is ecchi for women. I think the emotional stuff.
I think this is more like a Naro for women, in the sense of
a power. In the sense,
a power fetish here. Oh, look at her! She's dismantling the patriarchy
I don't know if it's. I don't know if it's that per se. I feel like it's more. Author's name. It's Kiki. Yeah, we did a little bit of looking into that last week. I found their Twitter and stuff, and I couldn't really ascertain, but I very much believe it's a woman just because of the style, right? I don't know if it's necessarily deliberately going for like a commentary on like patriarchy, men bad, or whatever. I feel like it's more. I think that your assessment of it being, a Naro for women is pretty accurate, right? I think that it's got. It's definitely written more from a female orientated perspective for the female perspective, right? And I can feel that in the way that it presents things, and the way that the way that the romance is going, and the lovey-dovey stuff, and how it presents certain aspects of the show, it definitely feels like it's you're reading one of those kind of like woman novels, right? The love novels, not like the ones that are hypersexualized with like the beast men or whatever, but like the same kind of thing where it's like more about the emotional connections between characters and how they feel and what they think, and big hugs and kisses and lovey-dovey type things, and we get to see our night girl who is like infatuated with her superior officer and is like big, rolling over the floor. She's so her nostrils getting censored. I thought that was quite funny. Big things, but essentially, our boy Dean ends up in a hideout, and then his quote unquote friend shows up, but his friend is like, "Oh, you're weak now. Fuck you. I was never really your friend. Betrayal. If you can't keep the group together, I will." Right, kind of thing. And that leads to him running into one of the guys that he had to leave behind, being now part of some giant fucking homunculus in the street. And so there's interesting stuff happening in the show, and I appreciate it for being the woman perspective, because that is interesting. We don't see that a lot. Right? Getting able to it broadens the horizons a little bit to watch something that's clearly, I wouldn't say it's not made for us, right, as men, right, but it's definitely made for a different kind of audience, right?
At least a different
it's
vibe.
Interesting. Yeah, it's a different vibe. Yeah. But it's cool. I'm down. I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
Fun time. So anyway, hypest show of the season had a hype episode. More news at 11.
Most action in a single episode ever. Episode 7 or whatever. Is it 6, 7? Something like that.
I think we're at 7. Yeah, we're at 7 out of 11. We're at 7-11. 7-11. Yeah, big fights happening in this one. Essentially, we have the entire payoff of the rival in a single episode.
Yeah.
So I guess we should kind of explain. So what ends up happening, and I do think it's interesting how a lot of stuff happens that's not really explained. It's more you've got to kind of infer and pick up on it. Like the first thing is a bunch of the other girls managed to make it out.
Yes.
Right. So at least I don't know if any, like, because did we see our tomboy girl? Did she make it out? I don't think I saw.
I think all of our friends are dead. That's kind of what I just
I think
assume.
our yellow-haired girl managed to survive, right? Or not her, but we'll get to that. Her team, I should say, or the group that was with her, minus her and the
successor,
the protege, right? Successor managed to make it out, right? Because we see the number go up quite a bit, right, with all the people that survived. And then what ends up kind of happening is, our yellow-haired girl finds. So our main girl gets tied up by the abnormally physically strong protege, who's a killing machine, essentially. And our rival girl is like, this won't do. This is not the epic confrontation I want.
Yeah.
How
boring beat up.
Yeah, how dare you be tied up on the floor, completely helpless, ready for me to kill you? That's disgusting. How dare you do this to me? Lets her go, and then fight kind of ensues, and we have the interesting moment where she's about to kill our girl, and our girl is like, it's harkening back to those introspection episodes, right? Or the introspection episode where she's like, why do I do this, right? If I die and become a ghost, that won't really matter too much. But she kind of finds that will to live, right? That drive to live. And I wonder if that's kind of like a mixture of her kind of coming to that realization, plus her like just a natural human instinct type thing of wanting to survive, mixing together. A lot of this show seems to be about humanity, right? and about what it means to actually be human and the loss of humanity, right? Which I'm going to maybe talk about a little bit later. So they have their big fight. Our girl loses some fingers,
Yes.
and in the end, she manages to defeat the rival girl and kill her,
Yes.
and she is dead, big dead. But it's not over. It's not over.
No, because
Because-
our blonde rival girl has like a protege, a girl that she saved before, and then
a
she
girl that she's groomed, a girl that she's groomed.
kind
to
of
be-
yeah.
Well, it is kind of, let's be real honest, it is kind of grooming. Because she essentially saves the life of this, I assume, younger yellow-haired girl, and sort of grooms her into being like, if I die, you have to defeat Yuki, right? You have to defeat her in my place. And so fighting continues with our girl until our girl plays her like a damn fiddle by going to the exit, which has giant like 50 caliber machine guns or something.
Yeah.
On turrets that will shoot you if you try and exit without the
If you touch the floor,
it starts beeping at
with
you.
your bare
and you don't,
if you touch that square of the floor with bare skin, you'll get shot. That's the rule I see from it. Because Yuki goes over there
because she's standing on the
Furniture.
the like sofas.
furniture
And it
stuff.
is beeping. It is beeping, and it is tracking her, right?
Mhm.
So it is doing the thing. But yeah, she basically is like, oh well, if I kill myself, then you won't succeed in avenging your girl or carrying on her will, because she wanted you to defeat me, right?
Yeah.
And so that causes the protege to panic, and she jumps into the kill zone, and the shots go off. She dies. Yuki manages to get out, but she mentioned, it's just pure luck, right?
Mhm.
It was a shit game, and I played like shit. It was a good quote from this episode. Yeah, man, they were really not joking when they said Game 30 would be the game that would be really bad, right?
Yeah.
And so, essentially Yuki makes it out. She lost 3 of her fingers. They got washed down the drain, so they couldn't recover them. So she's now missing 3
She'll
fingers
get
on one
like
hand.
prosthetic or
Maybe,
and-
I don't know. Well, we don't know yet, because I have a sneaky
well,
suspicion the next
our
arc
rival
is...
girl got a whole arm, so
True. So we'll see what happens. Because I think next arc, Candle Woods, I've watched the PV for a bit.
oh.
It looks like it's a flashback
Hmm.
one based on the PV. I've got it up now, actually. It's because it's got the bunny girl who's like mentioned in like one of the earlier the introspection episode is like the mentor girl. So I assume this is like the game that was like, I think it's game 10. I'm not sure what it was said in like the thing.
I thought game 10 was the
game 9. It's 09 Candle Woods is the title.
Oh
of
yes, you
at the
mentioned
end of
that
the PV.
game before in Ghost House.
Yeah, so we're gonna get to see game 9 because we're on 30 now, and then we're going back to watch 9. So yeah, interesting stuff. So what I will say though, and this is me being critical of the thing that I like, right? I'm critical. I feel like we are missing a lot of stuff. And I have a feeling this is because we're going from a novel, right? Because it's based on a novel, right? I think it's because we're going from that transition from novel to anime, and we only have so many episodes. Because it feels like there was more to this game, right? That we're missing out on, to me. Like, I feel like there's but that could also be deliberate because it's part of like the storytelling. Because as we've been talking about, there's a lot of this show is you have to pay attention, you have to kind of infer things and figure things out.
Yeah, so Naruto, I want to maybe highlight one thing I noticed, and minor thing, and one thematic thing, right? one thing, there was like a subtitle said you were caused needless anxiety. That's not correct. Listening to the Japanese, I'm pretty sure she says in the car after the game, she says, you were like afflicted. You were made needlessly cautious. And you needlessly anxious this time. And that's like this is we won't do it again, or what else? Who will?
Yeah, I did find that to be a very interesting phrasing of that in the subtitle.
I think it's like you were made needlessly anxious this time. That's the actual line that should have been there. One other thing. So in the beginning of the episode, Rival Girl muses on the concept of what is yourself. To what extent does the self end? When you let a boulder, go off a cliff, and it causes damage, or somebody dies or gets injured from that, was that you? Were you in the boulder? Was your will and aim and etc. in that boulder? Where does the self end? And it's a minor detour. I once was like an excerpt of an interview with an author of a book that was talking about aliens. Do aliens see math the same way as we do? Fiction says yes, but that might not be the true. For instance, what is the self?
Well, it kind of goes into what I was talking about with the morality questions around like when talking about like what was the show that we were talking about with that? I can't even remember now. It was like Fearing and the Demons. That's right. Like the demons view it. Do the demons view? Like, do the demons have a completely alien view of morality because they are a completely different species? They're not actually human, right? So they have a different perception of what reality is, right?
Kind of. So, but in this case, it's more in that book about what do aliens, perceive. I before, I believe, made the example from Natsu. We are now in communication with each other. You may you may just consider us right now one entity because we are now in.
Yeah, we're schizophrenic. Yeah.
Well, maybe for an alien, this might not be schizophrenic. We might count as a single entity for in an alien.
I'm just memeing, but I get what you mean. I'm just memeing.
Yeah. So, but back to the show.
Back to the show. Yeah.
In the beginning, Blonde Rival Girl says, I plant a seed that contains the poison, and somebody eats the flower that is poisonous and dies. Then I killed that person. And then, and that kind of starts now, and then she says, you are now like a vessel for my will. So, later on, the girl goes on and says, hey, I am now carrying on this legacy, this will. I am now, previous version of me died, now I am the new version that has to kill Yuki. And
I'm looking at the chat.
We are reading.
I am looking at the chat. It's just we're kind of engrossed in talking about the anime.
We are a single entity after all.
Yeah.
Carrying on the will. So I find it interesting. And a secret third point, Naretsu, is that Yuki has the ritual where she thinks about what happened in the game when the time for 2 minutes, right? After 2 minutes, she stops thinking about it and continues on. But Naretsu, that timer, that beeping went on for a little bit longer than 2 minutes. She might have been contemplating this game longer than just 2 minutes. Right? Because the previous time we see, she 2 minutes, beep, 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 click, beeping off, timer off. But now the timer the beeping end of timer kept going. So
there's so much interesting things happening in this show. It is a very
Small
fascinating
character
watch.
focused details.
Yeah, anyways, I had the first 4 light novels for Rollover and Die on hand since I downloaded a huge torrent of them a while back for English time. So I checked the afterwards. Oh, okay. So
Like the end of the first 4 novels?
So Gouda's saying it might be a dude. Or is a dude. Yeah, I did miss that in the chat because again we were going off and we were getting a bit into it, right? So we kind of got a bit distracted. But
Kiki Sagan.
yeah, story is basically fantasy, lesbian, romance, horror, stuff. I don't know. Yeah, but anywho, okay, back to our girl Yuki. So I am. Yeah, there's a lot going on, and I have a feeling that a big overarching theme that I am picking up on is this kind of idea of, again, humanity, what it means to be human, and the loss of humanity. Like every single game, she seems to be losing both physically and mentally, right?
Yes.
Parts of her humanity. Like in this one, there's the very clear, like she loses her fingers, right? And that's like a physical thing. And that's also related to the rival girl because she loses her arm. And there's the mention in the last episode of like the girl likes the arm because it feels cold, right? So it's clear that even though the robot arm or whatever, the prosthetic is functional, right? It works as a replacement for the arm. That doesn't necessarily mean that it is it's a simulacrum, right? It is not. It has differences. It's not human, and essentially this makes it, this idea of loss of humanity is a very interesting kind of theme to explore within the series. So I'm keen to see where it goes, but I'm getting the feeling that I don't know if it's being rushed, right? Because of how many episodes it's got, but I am kind of getting that sort of like there's so much that they wanted to put in, but maybe they couldn't. So they're trying to like compact things a little bit. And I got that more from this episode than I got from other episodes because there is a lot of stuff like, okay, all these other girls kind of survived, all this other stuff kind of happens. But at the end of the day,
I didn't really
at the
feel
end of the day, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. I'm getting a bit iffy. But then again, it's almost like I'm trying to find something to like because
I have to find flaw.
I don't want to be like glazing it constantly, right? I do want to be a little bit critical. But we'll see. We've got like what 7? We've got 4 episodes, 5 episodes left because it's 11 episodes. I mean, we had a 1 hour we had double first episode, so technically, you could argue it's technically still 12 episodes in length, right? So my Alva pulls. Oh yeah, I'll tell you in a minute, Gouda. But basically, it's good. Gonna keep watching it. Interested to see Candle Woods, which, if it's game number 9, then it's going to be early on in her career, so she's going to be a lot different, right? We'll get to kind of see the evolution and how it kind of plays out. All right, so Gouda, just to answer your stuff, Gouda, you're not going to fucking believe this. So I got my V0R1 Alva, right? This is GFL2, by the way. I got her, right? I got the 50-50 and I got the gun, right? Within the the split, right? But then I was like, I've got like 750 pulls left, and I could wait for Voimastema and go for like a V6 Voimastema, but that's cringe. Going for the meta Ellie is cringe. I want the waifus. I want the waifus. So I used the selector banner, and I decided, okay, I'm building the ice team, and I don't have Dishniva, right? Because I skipped her initially when she came out, and I've not rolled for her. I'll get a Dishniva, right, to supplement my ice team with my Alva, right? Because I have V3 Ro because I like Ro. Like she's a waifu, so she gets special treatment. But so I'm rolling to get Dishniva, right? And I get her on because it's like 80 pulls guarantee, right? I get her on the thing. She shows up twice. I get 2 of them in the 10 pull. So I have a V1 Dishniva now. Because Luck of the Kiwi procced and I got her twice. So yeah, V0 voice steamer. I mean, I might go for like a V3 voice steamer. I don't know yet. I've got plenty of pulls. But there's a lot of girls coming up that I really want to get. So I don't know. I might just save and not worry so much. I mean, it's not like the game's hard enough to really worry about the meta anyway. It doesn't really fucking matter. But yeah, no, I got her, and I got Dish and her gun to supplement my ice team. So my rolls went quite well, and I still have like 600 and no, it's not 600. I got like 500, 600 pulls left, I think. So I've got plenty of reserve stock to do pull stuff with. So yeah, I'll make sure. I will definitely get V0. Definitely. Yeah, I'm definitely getting V0. But anyway, let's talk about I don't know.
No free run
Oshi,
this
I
week.
guess. Or free run. No free run next week. This week we did have free run, didn't we? Or was it? No, was it this week? Yeah, it was this week. Oh shit, I'm retarded. I was looking because I've got my like anime thing up, so I can see all the shows that came out, and I was on this week and not last week. So, oh no, I was on the coming week, right? Not the week that's come, right? So yeah, no broadcaster free run, so we don't have to talk about free run. You talk about your Princess torture show. Is it funny? Yes, no.
Yes,
yes.
The Demon King likes it to watch his. I got reincarnated as a demon scale, demon broken scale protagonist in a world where I'm slow life racing a villainess. His favorite show.
Lovely.
And then he got sick, and blah blah blah, and this and that, some funny jokes, and I still recommend it. And OP is good. Good stuff.
All right. Oshi time, I guess.
So part one of the good thing I'm waiting for.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
Yeah.
So everything is happening to our girl. It's so sad. She's gonna get cancelled, Ellie. She's gonna get cancelled.
Even in this world where constant social media exposés means that every expose matters less and less. Who cares if they have a boyfriend actually?
Yeah, no, Kana's getting cancelled. It's happening because she went to the man's
not Kana.
room.
She's my Oshi.
No, how dare she allegedly have sexual relations with that director man who's married? Oh no.
Not that the marriage means much to him anyway.
We're on the Kana media bullying arc. Yeah. So basically what's going on is I did like the beginning part where we've got Ruby kind of in the dressing room, and we're like all on camera, all the girls like, aha, no, I totally don't have a boyfriend, haha. And then in the dressing room, like, yeah, I'm going out with my boyfriend.
Oh, I wish he would just leave all these hickeys right around my neck. He knows that I wear these dress.
Yeah. Can you hide this with the makeup, please? I need you to. Which again is like, I mean, say what you will, it is a very probably realistic thing. Like, listen, all of your Oshis got managers, quote unquote, right? Your VTubers, right? They got managers, right? They're just managing, right? Yeah. I think Shondo got in a bit of trouble for saying that once, because she was like, "Hey, all those VTuber managers, yeah, they're fucking, okay? They're boyfriends, okay? Get your shit together. Stop being a dumb fuck." But there's some interesting commentary there about, the illusion, right?
Yeah, and the undue burden and drama and trauma that you're putting all these people on for having normal relationships.
Yeah, and I feel like, I mean, to be fair, I do think in some way that culture is dying. It is somewhat starting to change, especially since we're now moving into the VTuber era of idols, where obviously traditional 3D girl, you know what I mean by 3D, right? real life girl idols are still a thing. They are still massive, right? You just look at like K-pop groups, and you look at even in Japan, right? But the big names are still a thing. But in the transition into more kind of HoloLive, Niji Sanji, big name VTuber company, idol type things. Even though a lot of like the rules around that, which actually ends up being more to protect like the privacy of the people behind the mask than anything, right? I think a lot more people are starting to kind of drop the old school purity, unicorn, right, type stuff. Which is easier to do when it's a VTuber because you can be attracted to the VTuber and not the girl behind the VTuber, right? If that makes sense. It's because again, they're selling you the idea of something.
Yeah.
Right? They're selling an idea, an ideal, a character, right? Which you have to kind of remember when you're getting into stuff like this, where even in real life, the real life idols, it's the same thing. The whole point of that purity culture type stuff was to sell people on this ideal of the pure idol to look up to go after, to, you know, so and so, to connect yourself to. And of course that led to a lot of, you know, toxic stuff. But even in the show, they mention that, yeah, in modern times, it's like you said, like scandals like that have been happening all the time, and that's lessened the impact of each individual scandal. And over time, the culture is starting to shift away from this insane kind of purity type
I
stuff.
remember. I mean, in Niji Sanji, there was this guy, VTuber guy, and it turns out at one pretty soon in his career as a VTuber, oh no, he's a married father. You could hear child in the background giggling, and
then he, I remember this, and then he made it into a thing.
Yeah,
he just made it into a thing as part of the, you know. And then you've got the other one. There's the VTuber that's like the single mom VTuber who has the kid do stuff with her. Like, you know, it's
and
yeah.
Not recently anymore, but there was this, you know, girl VTuber Naretsu, and she announced, "I have a boyfriend." And
wasn't that Fauna slash like
no
she's like
Niji
now.
Niji, you know me, Niji had.
Okay. Yeah.
Niji VTuber said, "Brace yourself, I have an announcement, I have a boyfriend." And then you know, she prepared like flaming background because she prepared to get flamed.
She's gonna get burned.
But then it was like, "Congratulations, finally." "No, I don't believe it. How could you ever get a boyfriend?" And it was like, people, be angry. Your idol has a boyfriend.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. That's kind of what I mean. I think the culture around this kind of thing is starting to shift for the better, right? It's starting to become less of a thing. You're obviously always going to have your fucking crazy people, right, that are just insane, but that is what it is. In relation to the show, though, we are kind of seeing the tabloids think they've got like the big story, right? And they approach Kana, and she kind of freezes up and she freaks out and runs away, while the paparazzi guy is like, your silence means you're guilty. I'm a douchebag, right? Kind of stuff. She goes missing, and they, you know, obviously I did like how, yeah, Aqua does find her, but she's kind of figured it out herself, right? She is a strong, independent woman. If I'm going to be the villain, then I'll be the whole villain, right? I'll be your fucking villain. And I suspect that's going to be what's going to move into the next, you know, part of the arc, right? The next episode is she's going to be like, oh yeah, you want me to be the heel, right? I'll be the heel.
Oh, I'm talking to that guy? Yeah, I'm getting that job. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, no spoilers, you know, for Margaritaville.
No,
we'll see. I'm keen to see it. It seems good. It seems like it's going to be fun. Overall, a pretty decent episode, right? Overall, pretty fun, pretty interesting. Had a good time watching it. And yeah, I'm interested to see how she kind of recovers from presumably the cancelling that's about to happen, right? She's gonna get Giga cancelled for
when the story comes out, plastered all over the internet.
The big betrayal. Yeah, I'm just having a
Drama.
look at the chat. Yeah, Gouda's talking about, yeah, as long as you don't do blatantly GFE stuff. Yeah, the GFE stuff is a bit of a thing. I mean, to be fair, right, with the GFE stuff, you kind of bring that on yourself if you partake in that. Because this is the thing, right? I feel like Shondo had because I like Shondo, right? Shondo had a thing recently, like a while back, where she kind of like said, "Hey guys, look, there's boundaries, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I'm entertaining you and you're entertaining me and we're having a good time, right? But listen, don't take it too seriously, right? I'm keeping you guys at arm's length for a reason, right? Like I have to be clear that there are boundaries here, you know. But I think a lot of other VTubers, they don't really. Yeah, the GFE attracts the unicorn. Yeah, all those people, right? They get into that kind of thing because it is a way to make money, right? It is alluring, being the digital comfort woman, right? But yeah, when you start getting into the girlfriend experience type stuff, you are kind of opening yourself up to the crazies, right? That are going to get too emotionally attached to you. So that's why I personally wouldn't recommend people kind of do that kind of stuff unless they make it really fucking clear, right, on the offset that
it's an act. It's a performance.
It's an act. It's not real, right? Yeah. So anyway, Digimon, big slavery.
Hey.
Big human trafficking. Interesting. Ellie, it's the Epstein Island episode of Digimon.
Again, wasn't that like the last episode as well?
No. The last episode was kind of like a guy trying to escape from the organization or whatever. Now it was like they're infiltrating the organization that's running like the human trafficking stuff to try and like break it down, and they kind of succeed essentially. With some, one Digimon from this kid dies, I guess, but that's fine. It was some rando kid that they saved, but the Digimon protected the kid, and then stuff happens. So to kind of give the context, right? You have one of the like 5 fucking star points or whatever the fuck is this like guy who on the surface he's big philanthropy, Ellie, big money, big giving to charity. Oh, I'm gonna do a charity auction. I'm gonna big I'm a big charity man. Big charity stuff. But then in the digital world, it's like because the Digimon has to have an owner, right? So they're selling the Digimon with the owner, right? Into kind of like slavery based on the Digimon's like abilities and such. And this kind of so it essentially is human trafficking, right? Yeah. Yeah, Digimon does love fucked up shit. It's great. Yeah, I'm saying it's great. So basically, yeah, the implication is, there's some stuff going on, and there's like this little girl with like a little fairy mon that is like in the human, getting human trafficked. So that's why I make the Epstein joke. And so and obviously the things happen, and they manage to kind of pseudo sorted out, but the big head man manages to get out of it because they basically come up with a cover story of, there was a drug deal going on behind the scenes of the charity auction. I had nothing to do with it. This is disgusting. I'm a good man, Ellie. I would never eat Epstein's jerky. Right? I would never.
I sweat too much for it.
Yeah, I would never. And so basically that is the gist of what's going on in Digimon. It is interesting because it is kind of tackling some real world issues, I feel, that are quite fascinating. I'll do Darwin before we get on to Sentenced. So Darwin, the school shooting is a school shooting.
The school is shooting.
Big school shooting's a school shooting, and it's a little bit pretentious. It's a little bit. I think the funny thing about it though is you have all of this like pretentious political kind of dribble happening where the guy's like, oh, we have to save the animals. Humans are enslaving the animals. Oh, you switched to being a vegan, so I'm not going to shoot you. Would you shoot me if I said no? And the guy's like, no, but you understand. And then he goes off and he does a big speech before fake out killing him. He doesn't actually kill himself. He because the stream is behind by 5 minutes, so he's trying to escape. But Charlie sniffs him out. And then the guy's like, Charlie, you could lead the revolution and do all the things. And then the cops show up. But Charlie stops the cops from killing the guy because Charlie actually doesn't want people to get killed. And it's a big... And I feel like, it's been a bit... It is interesting and funny at the same time, right? Because you have like the authors trying to tackle all these very serious real world questions over race and slavery and animal rights abuses and all this kind of stuff, just opposed by Charlie just being a normal fucking dude who does not give a shit. And the only reason he's getting involved and giving a shit is because these fucking terrorists keep fucking with his family and friends, right? Like, he does not actually want to be like the Jesus of animals, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't actually want that. He just wants to like be a normal ass fucking guy, right? He just wants to do his thing. But they keep fucking with him. So at like the end of the episode, before like the townspeople show up and are like, you better get the fuck out of town with your fucking monkey man, right? He's basically like, I'm gonna go destroy the fucking terrorists. And the girl has to be like, no. Lucy's like, no, don't do anything fucking rash. No, right? You know, it's bad enough as it is. So yeah, that part of it is kind of funny and interesting, but I do think that the political commentary is, I wouldn't say it's like poorly done, it's just very heavy-handed, right? And it's very clear that while the author is trying to hide their biases, it's very clear that the author does have biases in how they're presenting things. But it's all right. Yeah, he just wants to play video games. Yeah, exactly. He just wants to play video games, but these people keep fucking with his video games, so he's gonna go out and go terrorist hunting or something,
I guess.
Yeah. So that's Darwin Incident. I'll keep updating if anything interesting happens. But lots of interesting things happened in Sentence this week, though.
Yes.
You ever have a little chat about that?
So Silo wakes up in suddenly a port city, a southern port city, what we call more like a southern, closer to the equator port city. Anyway, turns out people want to kill the goddess. Those coexisters apparently, or other heretic types. Anyway, whoever wants to kill the goddess. They're in the city, so we're going to walk around with the goddess in the city, and here there are the assassins already. Time to no, maybe one step back. We're going to meet that fiancé that she has, that Silo has. She's a fun character.
She's nun and big nun girl. Big nun.
Priest-ish, or just lady, maybe not even a priestess.
Yeah, she's fun. She is very fun. Very, very frank.
Very willful, and you're doing this my way.
Yeah, and she and he's like, look, I'm not even like treated as a human anymore. We can't get married. No, we are getting married. This is just a minor setback. I'm working on getting you a pardon right now. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. All right, just.
Oh, hey,
chill.
this goddess. She reminds me of that pet lizard.
Yeah, it's like that other one that you had, right? Remember that one?
The one joke where Tereta strongly objects against the two characters sharing bonding over a thing that happened in the past before she was in the picture. And like, no, you cannot bond over things that I wasn't there to experience also.
Yeah,
that's against
it's
the
great.
rules.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's fun. It's fun times. So we also get introduced to a new member of the team, Dragon Fucker.
Yeah, basically.
Man who he's got rivalry with Xylo, very big, haha, I killed two and you.
Yes,
you,
big
you,
protagonist
you,
energy, big protagonist
yeah,
vibes, spiky hair, animal,
yeah,
dragon.
and
code.
his big sin. His big sin that got him landed as a hero, he tried to start a dragon rebellion to free the dragons.
I suppose what
poor
he
dragons.
his actual thing was, I'm going to free the dragons, and then it got kind of styled as a rebellion against the crown as a whole, as the kingdom as a whole.
Yeah, and they were like it was such a big deal they even named it after the rebellion after him.
So, time to make him an example, I guess. That's the only thing we can
so
do.
they made him a hero, and now him and his dragon wife, dragon waifu wife that he loves is they're hanging out and doing dragon
I
things.
wasn't looking beneath their wings. I was measuring them.
Yeah,
You're the only one for me.
Yeah, no, you're the only dragon I love, my dear. You know, he's cool. I like him. He's funny. He's cool. So they're going around town, and what do you know it? Big Asusans. The Asusans show up, trying to deal with our goddess, kill the goddess girl. And this leads to a very good fight in the alleyway and on the street, where we get introduced to, I guess, our two antagonist characters for the next arc, I assume. We got one who's kind of this girl character who has arms and legs that are made out of kind of this metal alloy that can like turn into sharp blades, and so she's able to like, you know, transmog her arms into swords and stuff. And you have very strong hunchback man who is very clearly infected by the blight. He is big blight man. He's very clearly got the big demon energy. He's got the demons.
I was kind of wondering how the cooperation between humans and the demon blight would happen, but if they can look like a human, then that explains a lot.
He seems fairly functional as a human in some respect. So yeah, some interesting things going on. Of course, the dragon guy shows up and saves the day, boons them all up, and then they do a retreat. Because you know the big that didn't go well. But yeah, as our girl Terrieta does mention, I don't feel any, because she has a thing where she doesn't like killing people, like humans, right? Goddesses have a thing in them where, because I've been watching the guy that does like the cut content things, and it is explained that goddesses have and it was sort of mentioned in the the episode as well. Yeah, it's mentioned that goddesses have a sort of like, it's not like a pure lock on it. They can kill people. They just they're programmed not to want to do it. Right?
It kind of reminds me of, if you remember Shinsekai Yori. If you ever heard of it or know of it, Shinsekai Yori also had a thing where people would basically almost get a heart attack if they were thinking about killing another human.
Yeah. It is a very similar kind of deal to that, where she just doesn't really want to do it. But with this guy, she doesn't feel any trepidation, right, about killing him. And they drop kind of like, is he a Spriggan, right? So I guess that is the term for like a human that has been
humanoid,
blighted.
human passing.
Human passing thing is like a Spriggan. So that was kind of cool. yeah, it was a pretty all around good episode. We had some fun character moments in the lead up to that, where they're in the shop and they're wandering the shops and having a look at what's going on, all that kind of stuff. It's very, 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 very good. Yeah, I'm digging it. There's a lot of really interesting kind of lore related stuff going on. I'm gonna have to watch the cut content guy because he's been doing them like every 2 weeks. Because there's actually, funnily enough, not been a lot of cut content in the episodes. It's been pretty. If anything, like the main difference is like Xylo is a lot less edgy in the light novels. He's a little bit more kind of standard protagonisty rather than like he's a lot less cold to Furieta, right? He's a lot less PTSD hard man. In the thing. Oh yeah, so like the other thing that I'll mention, which is kind of a lore thing that I don't know has been explained yet, but the girl who's the antagonist girl with the metal arms and such, she's described as an adventurer.
Yeah, she was.
And in this universe, adventurer, so similar to how heroes are not like traditional heroes, adventurer just means thief. Right? They go, and it was mentioned that Furieta was also found by adventurers, but I don't think it was explained that adventurer just means that they're basically grave robbers. They go into like old temples and old, ruins and that kind of thing, and they basically steal whatever the fuck they can find and sell it off for profit, right? So it's not adventurer in the standard fantasy sense of big adventurers going on a thing and slaying demon lord or whatever, right? No, it's they are effectively in the universe like treated like they're grave robbers, basically. Which I found to be kind of an interesting lore tidbit that I wonder if they'll bring up later on. But it was something that the guy mentioned in the video that I watched, where he was like, "Yeah, adventurers basically mean this." So we figured I'd toss that in there.
Right. Other than that, I saw like the Spriggan. He got a name, but I forgot the name.
Yeah, I forgot his name too. Yeah.
The guy is interesting. He doesn't know human, customs very well.
Yeah, which could be a blight takeover.
Yeah, or just
intelligent blight thing.
He's just ignorant of the ways of the human. I don't think that Xylo was in a circus for 3 years, but he believes it right away.
Yeah. That's bullshit, but I believe it.
No, he just straight up believe it. He cannot detect a lie. So that might be a thing that comes up later as a thing that will be his downfall. Blah 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 blah. Other than that, when I saw his character, I saw him out of the context first. I thought he was like another hero, but turns out he was an evil guy instead. Because there's plenty of weird people in the hero squad. Why not him as well?
Yeah, plenty of strange, weird people doing weird things that are weird fellas. But yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's good stuff. So yeah, it's been a good week. Been a good week for anime. It's been a good week for doing things. So before we kind of leave, I was going to mention kind of like back to the Fate announcement, right? Of well, not the Fate announcement, but the UFO table announcement of the Genshin anime, right? And I feel like there's an interesting discussion to be had about the Chinese otaku kind of like, how do I describe this, right? So imagine it like this. Japan creates otaku culture.
Yeah.
Right, in general, right? They create anime, they create manga, they create stuff. The Chinese otakus pick up on that, they enjoy it, they consume it, they love it, they do their thing. Those same Chinese otaku then go on to make their gacha games and their own stuff, right? They're making their own stuff that they're trying to recreate the stuff that they like from the Japanese otaku scene. And then now we've come full circle where you have a Japanese animation studio right? That makes Japanese anime adapting a Chinese otaku work, right? Regardless of how you feel about like the quality of like Genshin Impact or whatever, right? And whether or not you think it's good or not, it is. I mean, the MiHoYo's tagline in their company logo is, you know, otaku save the world or something, right? Like that is literally their modus operandi. So I think it's an interesting like thing to think about in that we've now kind of come full circle in that. And meanwhile, the Western side of things just continues to get fucking mogged. Right?
Yeah, don't never forget, Naretsu, that anime first came from the Disney, and we just kind of Japan copied the Disney.
There's obviously
and then
you could argue that it's an extension. Yeah.
Then you could say, and then America made Avatar, the most anime they've ever been, and that was an Asian story with although it mixed the Chinese and the Japanese and the Pacific all together as a one big story, including like even the Arctic ones. But anyway, you could say that, and then America made an anime inspired by the animes that they self-exported to Japan. And
so I'm just kind of saying that in terms of the Chinese side, I find it to be a rather interesting thing to witness, right? Because again, with the Western, like when I mention like the West getting mogged, right? It's because outside of stuff like Avatar, right? I can't think of anything in recent history that, from the Western side of things, has kind of accomplished the same level of like otaku-ness, right? Because think about it this way.
I have one thing, right? And that is that I see a lot of buzz about this Ultimate series. Ultimate Batman, Ultimate Martian is Ultimate...
I don't know anything about... this is my point. My point is, okay, you hear about that, but how many doujins are getting made out of it? How many like fan works are being made out of it? You look at Genshin Impact. You look at, I mean, it's Korean, but Blue Archive, right? We've already seen all the reports about Blue Archive taking over Comiket, right? And how there's just massive amounts of Blue Archive stuff at Comiket,
the problem I see is really that Disney is such a stronghold on everything American that is just kind of consuming all the oxygen for anything other than what Disney, Marvel, DC, although there's still different
the way I kind of see it is like we could have this is why I think it's an interesting discussion point, right? Is you could have an interesting discussion about copyright law and how that's affected like doujin culture and whatnot. And I agree with you that is a big part of it. Like it's not just Disney, but Disney is the most contributing factor to that, right? But at the same time, there hasn't been from what I kind of perceive, right? There hasn't really been a Western thing that's kind of cropped up in my mind that has sort of captured the otaku scene in the same way that
I suppose that
like when you compare it to something like the Chinese gacha games, right? Directly, right? Like there's not really been there hasn't been like a Western made gacha game, to use that specifically, right? As a thing to kind of narrow the scope a little here, right? You hasn't been like a Western made gacha game that gets so much fan work, right? About it. And
I see a couple of things, right? One of them is that if an American wants to gamble, they go to now the prediction markets, which isn't gambling at all. So
I don't want to interrupt you. I don't want to interrupt you, but I think the problem is you're not really getting what I'm saying.
No, I'm getting there. Don't worry.
Because I don't want to. Because the thing is I feel like we're talking about different things, right? Because I'm talking about the cultural feedback loop side of it,
No, I'm getting there.
I'm not talking about like, okay, why hasn't the West made a gacha game? Right? The fact it's a gacha game or not is not the relevant part. The relevant part is like, do we see a lot of like doujins of Marvel properties? Do we see a lot of people creating massive fan works around Marvel properties? Not particularly. And again, you can chalk that up to the copyright side of it, but even so, I'm not seeing the same kind of, because the way I describe otaku culture is not just people consuming the media; it's people also creating from.
So
the
that is
happening from the media.
That is happening, but it is one, copyright more restricted. But it is happening in the Star Wars. Star Wars is like one of the last big nerd fan things that you can do.
True, but Star Wars is fucking old.
That's the problem also.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying
because
now, right?
Disney and DC are so massive, for them to have a success, it needs to be massive. And if it's not that massive to be a success, then they're getting killed right away. So there's no room to grow.
But it's not even about it being a success from the standpoint of like the rights holders. I'm talking about the otaku culture side of it, right? Yeah, there's Star Wars fan projects, I guess, that do happen, and some people do make, I guess, comics and stories or whatever on the down low, but to avoid copyright. But what I kind of see is that it's not really the same kind of culture coming out of it, and we're not seeing like people making their own Star Wars, if that makes sense, right?
Because again, they are not allowed. They got stricken down right away.
You can make your own Star Wars and not call it Star Wars. You can do that. That's within the purview of copyright law, right?
Not if Disney is saying it. That's the problem.
Well, here's the thing: is Girls Frontline the same as Gunslinger Girl, Ellie? No, it's not. But it is clearly inspired by Gunslinger Girl and Ghost in the Shell, as Yuzong has directly pointed out in fucking interviews, right? Like, that's my point, is the Chinese side of it is taking the thing that they are inspired by and creating new works.
Yeah, but I don't see Disney allowing even in Star Wars inspired thing to exist. If you have like a hint of
I guess the disagreement I have is hang on. The disagreement I have, I guess, is not that I disagree with you that Disney has like control and copyright, and because that's all true, right? Let's let's put that aside for a moment, right? Because that is true. I also think that there is a problem with the cultural side in general, with the West, right? Where they're not willing to actually just make shit that's sincere, I guess would be the way to put it. I think there is like a lack of wanting to like, because 9 times out of 10 when we see them actually try to make otaku inspired works, right, it ends up being kind of this like cliche kind of, not almost mockery, but like ironic-y kind of stuff that's not really like a sincere attempt at recreating like Ghost in the Shell, right? Like GFL to me is a Yuzong's genuine attempt to recreate the stuff that he likes about Ghost in the Shell without directly copying.
So I do believe that it is kind of pathologizing, putting a diagnosis on the whole culture and of a nation. Caveats and exceptions and generalizations all apply. I do believe that the strict, just that the idea to have a derivative work is just beaten out of the creative minds of the America, that you cannot have even an inspired thing.
Why, So that's why I describe it as a cultural problem. Right?
So
that's.
So you would, but I do believe in the creative force of all humans, that if and when these laws would be gone, and if Disney went bankrupt or whatever, right? Then you would see 1,000 Star Wars inspired works everywhere immediately. it is possible, but I think just the laws that
I don't think you would see it immediately, but
soon,
it would take
quickly.
it would take time for that to.
I see it because
the problem, Ellie, is the way that with the problem I have and why I disagree with you is the way you're describing it is like there's like a wall, right? The big copyright wall, and then suddenly you bust down the wall, and then everyone's just going to start making Star Wars clones, right? I don't actually think that would happen because the culture, it's like you said, they've been browbeaten so hard for so many decades, right? I think it's a cultural problem that needs to be solved from the cultural root, right? I think if enough people just said, you know what? Fuck it. I like Star Wars. I'm going to create a sci-fi story. Like, it's not going to use the Force, and it's not going to use lightsabers, and it's not going to use this, that, and that.
But there's magic people that can use telekinesis.
Yeah, maybe it'll be a different system, right? It'll be something different, right? And it won't be Star Wars. It will be a different
but
thing.
we got our disagreement.
Yeah, we're going on a little bit. I'll cap this off, and then we'll kind of close the show, right? Like, I think that if enough people genuinely and sincerely just said fuck it and started actually creating shit that's sincere instead of irony poisoned, the copyright side of it will just become irrelevant, because then we can just create new feedback loops with other properties, right, that are not in the control, or at least won't be in the control until they get brought out, right, of the big name Disneys and Warner Brothers and all these fucking, you know, whatevers, right? That's my view of it. And I get where you're coming from, right, with that. Yes, the copyright thing is the elephant in the room that needs to be sort of addressed. But I personally feel like it's a two-pronged issue where you have a cultural rot problem that needs to be addressed as well. And I guess, yeah. But it's an interesting discussion. Like I say, I thought it would be an interesting discussion. That's why I brought it up. And it ended up with us going on a bit of a rant. So it did end up being an interesting discussion.
So the only thing I want to mention, right, that there is like these minor crop-ups of culture, like you know, Deltarune, and you know, that, you know, from Earthbound, yet Undertale, and some minor projects before, and Deltarune, which has its own big fandom that is kind of, you know, brewing. But one of the problems, I suppose, that exists in America and Europe, I suppose, also, is that there's no real vertical integration of multimedia landscape, right? That it's too hard for Deltarune to get a show, to get a comic, to get this and that and that.
Yeah, because there's not a lot of upward mobility.
Because well, this is not necessarily true, but there are more players in Japan than is in America. For how huge Kadokawa is, there is competition to Kadokawa. There are other players which you can approach for a comic and a manga and an anime in Japan. You cannot really avoid Disney in any way in America. I mean, do you want to go with Netflix? Oh no, they're getting bought. They're buying Warner Brothers now, so even more mega corporations. Break up the mega corporations, abolish copyright.
Yeah. The rants we've gone on for yeah. But anyway, it was a fun discussion. Like I said, we could even do a whole cast on that, to be honest, because it is an interesting kind of thing to get into. But yeah. Anyway, it's been a fun show. Hope you guys had a good time. We'll be back maybe next week, hopefully, with the
maybe I have to schedule a thing. Maybe not next week.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how we go. We'll be around or we won't be around. You know how it is. you guys know how it do be like that. So anyway, we will catch you guys next time.
Later.